So, this $4,000 would save us another time. Number 5 is basement air unit. So our caustic soda is kept in the basement. And if it gets below a certain degree, it will become a sludgy. And I cannot pump it up into the. So, all the air units, we did replace the one, in the filter room 2 years ago. But they're all original to the building too. So this is another one that generally once a year we're changing, motors on. Something like that, like I've been gimping it along. But that would be one that if we couldn't get chemical up, that would be an issue. So that's why that would be the top 5. You want me? I know we put numbers in, but you want me to keep going or you want?
No, go for it,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, the other ones Danielle and I did were,
See, making fun of me.
number 6 is the SE 4500 controller. That controller runs that CL17 analyzer, plus all of our inline filter turbidity meters. So that's a readout that then talks to our computers so that it can come to my phone. But that has multiple uses in our plant. We have about 6 or 7 of them, so this would be a backup just in case any of those went off. Number 7 is the spectrophotometer. So that is our benchtop device that we do about 6 tests on every day. We do our hourly chlorines on that, UVs, phosphates, sulfates. We have multiple tests that we do on that. So without having that, you kind of be shot out of the water. Ours recently, no pun intended. Ours recently, it's showing some age on it. So we just, before we're to that point, so.
Rear gate.
The rear gate number 1, we didn't, put that one on here as like as what we kind of pulled it out, so, but that would be, in the back of the plan.
How many are there?
There
No.
is
A few, right? Or one, at least one.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
So, this one would be what goes into, the clarifier, so we can change flows. We can change direction of how the water moves, and if you remember, a few Marches ago when we had the first big boil warning, and we had that rear gate we had to replace because it was all, so I just kind of kept them on there to, because they were all aluminum to begin with. When we replaced that one, we went with stainless steel, so we didn't get that pitting and corrosion, so I'm kind of trying to keep it there in case we. So right now I don't see any issues with it, we're able to move it, but I'm keeping it there to keep it in our mind, so.
Go all the way to 10. Let's.
Okay, that's 8, 9.
Electronic scale.
Electronic scale, that's for our chlorine, so we put our 150-pound cylinders on there. And then as we use the chlorine, we read off that scale and how many pounds we use. So that we have to calibrate often. So, we're needing to update that one. The next one is the chlorine, feed system. Those are the heads that actually go onto the tanks that take the chlorine out and feed it to our system. We have 2 of those, and that's the total for 2. I would be replacing that whole system. Is that 10? That's 10. Okay.
11 and 12, please.
We got 11 and 12, we bought those. We bought those, we actually, Nick put them in today. We were able to, they came under the 5,000, I had some extra money from that repair on number 1, and so we spent them there and got them done, so.
Danielle, can you put in the numbers for numbers 1 through 10 and then tell us what we've got left? Please.
Yes. Bear with me here.
I was gonna stick on that. I just chose.
So 1 through 10 would leave 472, 477.
472.
477.
Which would be underneath your 3 months.
No, that's after the 3-month
Oh,
reserve.
that's after the 3 months.
Yes. That's what you have left to hopefully put towards Brent's stuff.
Gotcha.
I say Brent's, it's water. It's not just Brent. This, yes. Which his capitals up above and the highlighted, so that's the lines 143 through 148.
Oh, crud, we gotta get Brent tonight, I'm so sorry. Capital projects. I was thinking, hey, go for the 1 through 10, all right. Friendly numbers. All right, Brent, go for your priorities, let's hear.
First one, number one is hydrant. I got that hydrant repair on Sherman Street in Cherry. That's got to get done.
Has that been on there for a little while?
That, it's been on there for the, it's been carried over. And then the lead service line replacement, that's going on
Right,
is normal. Then the infrastructure, the water mains, the hydrants, meters, that's going on for as well. That's
It's 2 hydrants, so.
no, just the one hydrant.
Sherman,
Sherman, correct. Sherman, no, Sherman and Sherman and Cherry, I'm sorry, Mike, yes, sorry,
2 hydrants.
2 hydrants.
Okay.
sorry.
oh, one on Sherman, one on.
Yes, one
Gotcha,
on
gotcha.
Cherry, correct.
And the dam repairs, we're asking to carry that forward,
From the 24 budget, just keep it there, don't add to it, but just carry
Right.
it forward.
Same with the back truck.
Yes, I've been hunting for them, just trying to find them for what we have.
Well, we know we don't have enough, right?
We ain't got enough right now,
So you want to set aside more.
right. We're setting aside, we got 150 and 100. Yeah, some of the back stuff is also in the sewer,
We've got 150 health.
in the sewer, correct, Daniel, and 100 in the water.
you got 150 in sewer
100
and
in the
100
water,
in water.
correct, 250.
And you'd have to reappropriate and carry that forward, or add. And or not.
Right. What prices are you seeing for one?
Something that's decently, that I feel you could maybe get some years out of, probably $300,000.
Brand new, they're $500,000 plus.
Brand new, most of this guy's been anywhere from $550,000 to $700,000. And I don't know, like I said, that's just to do all this, to do any kind of water maintenance anymore with all the fiber and stuff that's in there, that's what they're gonna look to. You gotta realize one fiber is $30,000.
Well, we originally wanted this to do our investigations on.
Well, we want to
Which
use
we
it
got the
for
grant
pothole and we want to use it for that. Do a
Because the
water
necessity still
Yes.
there to continue the process.
Any kind of time digging in town. Most guys now in town don't dig here. Don't
Hey,
dig
Lisa.
town.
I just got a text that says, they cannot hear the.
We
fixed it.
Yeah, we also got
Thank
one,
you.
sorry about that.
Okay,
Thank you.
I mean, you've seen digging over here.
so we got 250 right now.
No, Daniel, looks like we only got,
Yes, you have,
250.
but it's
With both.
100 in water and then 150 in
So we have a
sewer.
250 total,
yes,
and you're saying 300 is what?
yeah, we got this, yeah, I've been looking for 300, 350, and it's something I wanna make sure that. We're
Yeah,
gonna
oh,
use,
yeah.
when I'm buying used, I wanna make sure it's something that's gonna be stable.
So what do we do for that extra 50 then, Danielle, that we would,
Or I'm asking to keep carrying until I find something.
we're gonna carry the 100,000, yeah. But would we wanna put, that's what I think Mike, you're saying, should we be putting, some more money along with that 100 we're carrying over? Should we put a, I'm just throwing a number out, 30,000 onto that, or a 50 onto that, Danielle?
Yeah, I can, if I do 130. Or 130,000. Plus the dam carrying that forward, or do you want to do the hydrants number 1 at least and see what that
Yes.
looks like?
Yeah.
So if you fund those projects, you have 300,477. After the 3-month reserve left that you can apply towards lead service lines and or infrastructure.
Danielle, real quick, did you carry over the nitrate procedure stuff? You mentioned that.
Yes, it is carried over.
Okay.
Yes, no, thank you for checking.
So go down on Nora's then. And. Take off 10, 9, and 8. I don't know what the numbers are, I'm just throwing things out there though. Because she has them already prioritized, so that's why I love when you know, when you guys do that. And what will that have, what will happen for the DPW portion?
308,477 because those were very low cost items. I think you just, I think it was 7,000 something that.
What do you guys think about putting money towards the Vector truck? I mean, obviously, if we keep that 100,000 in there, but should we put some more in? Should we not?
Should. Talked about this for what, 3-4 years now.
We've been looking, exactly, it's just, but we talked about for 3 years when we started with 150, then we've been adding as we've been going.
Right.
So we can hit that mark.
So we get a good one, yes.
I wanna make sure you guys are correct.
Yeah.
I think that we should add to it, and hopefully, get up to that 300,000 level, so that if you find something that's. Meets its requirements or its expectation. We should think.
And I got one question to ask the council, if we do purchase, we find something, because the last one was, it was one in South Carolina. So there, it's hard to find, I mean, they're getting picked up. How do we go about purchasing them, so that because, they don't stay long. If I can't say we're interested to put something, they're gone, like the last one lasted 3 days.
Did we do
And they,
something?
they put Katie on here.
What was-
Yeah, we did with the street sweeper.
Just asking that, so that,
No,
I'm
that's being
trying to say that if I bring it to Danielle, she gets hold of my, how would that, you guys wanna go forward with that? Cause it's not like we can wait till y'all vote on it, it's gone by then.
We did it, we could do like we did with the street sweeper where we did a pre-approval and some conditions up to a certain amount.
I'm just saying, if you equipment, it don't stay, if it's good equipment, it's fine. Let's go with 5.
Well, I definitely think that the hydrant repairs, those need to be wrapped up. Okay, let's get that off.
And then that gives me an opportunity to get with sales and we're really interested, you know what I mean, so I'm not dragging them. If they'll really start looking at, I feel okay, it's not gonna. Push that, if I come to you guys now, we're not gonna do it, then I'm spend all that time and I spend all their time. They bring trucks here for us to look at.
And then you guys took care of the line locator here in 24 to 25, kind of like what Nora did.
Yeah,
for
it's,
her
and
items.
it's on order.
Right.
So, that's good. And that basically, that's just we find the water lines, just the locator we got, you have 2 of them, so one goes down, one in this case, we can locate water. Dig in. Here's what that is.
What do you think, Danielle, about that Vector truck? What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know. I think that if we could find a good one, that would be great. My concern is staffing levels. And the ability, I think that DPW is stretched thin as it is. So I certainly want to give them the equipment and things to make their job easier. I just am worried if they'll have time to use it the way that it really to its full potential. But that being said, I do think that if we're going to purchase it, it makes sense to get something that's going to last us and not, I mean, it would make sense to put a little bit of money towards it. I think too, we could budget the 130 here and look at the sewer and kind of see if we need to make adjustments based on that. If I add those couple small things and back in for Nora, because we did not have the weir gate, we didn't have number
No, we
8,
took
right?
8 off.
Okay, I'm making sure I didn't miss that. So if we add that, because it's only $8,000 for those small things, that leaves 477 that I would say you either put that 300,000 in lead service lines or infrastructure or split it, do 150 in each. That's probably what I would recommend is 150 in each. And then we can always come back to this when once we know the sewer portion for that back truck, because that is a split cost.
That truck, that thing, Brent, that you had alluded to, that other municipalities might want to use it, rent it from us, is that the back truck?
I don't think
No, okay, I thought there was something that we
We
did.
talked.
and
Talk to something like
and
that.
they also
Got one, and county's got one, we contract out with others, you know, private.
Yeah, we use the county, that's what we're doing now, we call, to a private contractor if we need it, or we call county, but. You know, we got realize a lot of our sewers have been dead or,
I
you
heard
know,
you talking about that.
been clean for quite a while, and even if we doing sewers, and it maybe be best for the DPW to, if Daniel says we don't have. Being strict, we do more of sewer jetting and then get rid of more of the EPA stuff and let, you know, someone else do that. Concentrate more on utilities, so we had that drug.
How many times a year do you rent that truck?
Well, we haven't cleaned storm sewers or cleaned sanitaries continuously since I've been almost 20 years, about 27
When you
years.
say continuously.
Most towns will continuously clean. You know, we go to a sewer, we go to a street, right, we do section, we just keep continuously clean. Sewers, storm sewers, catch basins.
So most communities will do like a 5-year schedule, so they're hitting every sewer main once
And
at
then they-
minimum every 5 years. Or 20% of their community a year, so that they're maintaining those clear
And then
lines
they-
and routes
then
and
they
things like
water
that.
break, there's no more pumps, you back down to the safe way, you back down right to the water, pumps the water up, and you can out in the back. And you can actually hydro excavate, so when we go to say, for instance, right now, any kind of fiber optics or anything, so there's 4 or 5 lines, we have to hand dig them all the way down. They don't give you no depth, it could be anywhere from 18 inches to 4 feet.
Right.
Well, then when you've got a hydro excavator, you just use water, you can, and that's called soft excavation, so you can find anything. And if something gets hit, they consider it soft excavation. Now, if I cut it with a backhoe, you're talking, it's fiber, it's $30,000 minimum. And responsible for it. So I mean, so there, and as you see the boulevards and look at the mistakes and see all the flags.
Yeah.
And you got 2 sets of fiber in here now, and I think another company is gonna run another set of fiber arms.
Yeah, that,
So I guess there's 3 sets of fiber plus the coax, the gas, our own stuff. It's getting tough to dig in the town, especially in the right of ways. And that's what a lot of municipalities have. And anywhere from Dundee to Petersburg, it's not just the big towns anymore, some of them will have 4 or 5 in the backdrop.
So if we add those things in the 150, that puts us right about $500 over our 3-month reserve. If you guys are good with that. And that bumps it up about 30,000 and we can look at sewer.
Well, I guess go back to the whole engineering thing. We're talking about future plans or right sustainability or efficiency, right? We want to look at the reservoir wells, whatever, right? I mean, that's pretty much what we want to start out from fresh from a consultant. Be from Toledo or Monroe or something like that, right? So again, what's that gonna cost us? I think that's going back to ground zero. That's where we need to start, right? Are we being the most efficient? Providing water, and again, this is it's nothing against your staff, right? This is money. So again, don't take that personally, but we gotta do what's best for the village, and I think that's the first step, seeing. Maybe we have a water plant, but do we have a reservoir? Do we, you know, I think we've talked about wells in the past, not since I've been here. Is the river the only solution for a source? You know, I think, again. I think that's a good investment to find out how we're being most efficient, how we move forward, our planning for providing water. And then number 2, Mike. You know, I talked about that night or the sludge removal plan out there, you know, we've done the studies on it. Is there any funding to move forward on that?
I have a
Set
report
aside
right
too.
there. I can read you numbers real quick.
And I'll share this with you guys too. I apologize, I haven't yet. I've just been doing a lot of budget stuff.
You know, because otherwise we're not doing anything for another year, right on that sitting. And then Steve, you know, we're hauling sludge out of your tanks down there, right, which is tens of thousands of dollars.
So, upfront capital to put in the new unit is $821,679. And then it has an annual operating and maintenance cost of $175,000 for the unit they're recommending.
That's true for us.
It is called, it's actually like a belt press. Like. So that's the numbers I have.
So again, you're talking about a million, right? I mean. But
The
probably,
other- that's
probably
the
we're talking
cheaper.
60,000, isn't it, right, Steve, them the dishes?
No, it's more than
Almost
60.
that.
Yeah. So we just got that quote to do the crack fill and sludge removal is 1.3. I mean, we're still working on some with the engineers on that and some other solutions, but it's expensive. But he does have the grit removal system now that we don't really, it's working, but I don't know how much of that sludge was before and after. Once we get the sludge cleaned out this time, we'll be able to see a true picture of that impact, because probably a lot of that sludge is pre the grit removal system. Would, don't you think, probably?
After years. On deposit right there, if they had no grid panel.
I mean, they're filling dumpsters, they empty.
It's doing the job now. And like I say, once we get this plan this time, we should have a really good indication. But after that, going forward with the headworks building, like most places I work for, you pull those tanks down once every 6 months, wash them down. Should not have to do this.
Should.
So should not, because like I say, the headworks is won't be put out and it's gonna pull all the rags out. So, yeah, the maintenance done right, every 6 months you pull it down. Wash it, bring it back to the system, it goes out. And yeah, so this should do it this time. So, yeah, but say you get a good maintenance plan and the process and that takes care of it. So, yeah.
Well, that kind of goes again back to my point, I guess. I'm saying, again, we get an engineer consultant, how are we gonna get a source? I think that's number one. We're talking CFS, like reclamation. Gray water, whatever the treated water. So. I hate to spend it, but again, I think that's the wisest way to say this is how we move forward, this way. It kind of directs us.
Well, I think it gives us answers too. I mean, from what I can find, we looked at wells in, it was 1986 and again, and Nora and I've talked about this, like, I appreciate everything they do, and I certainly am not saying we need to just shut the plant down and none of them have jobs, but I think we need to be able to answer to our residents. And
Yes.
again, I also don't want to mislead you guys that what we're doing, it might be the best, but at least then we do know.
Right, because we looked at running lines to Toledo or whatever, that's ungodly numbers and.
That was when I first got on, we started,
Yeah.
every day talking about that.
Huge number, and, you know, have the algae thing where they can't provide water, are we out of water, you know? Are we not getting water? So again, there's a lot of questions and a lot of deviations that we have to take a look at and say, you know, this is the most cost effective solution, but. I think we need to just, you know, go back to, you know, like I said, ground zero and say this is. Where we started, this is how we move forward with it.
Speaking of moving forward, shall we go on to sewer? Are you cool with that?
Not really, but I mean,
Well, I mean, is there something that we know for water that we need to discuss? She's got the numbers, and that's why I'm asking, I'm not trying to be smart.
no. Not built so. $5. Yeah,
Well,
but it doesn't, again, that doesn't. Future problem. Yeah, move on. Sure.
Okay. So sewer. Get to the top here. Revenues. This is a $2 per thousand that I sent you guys. Otherwise. There's not really any change here. I do have, I want to make sure you guys see in the revenues, there's the proceeds from bonds. Of the 182,561, that's been there for a couple of years. That's the retainage for the LaSalle project. That the USDA still has that portion. They actually have that and a little bit more. And then down below in expenses, you'll see that exact retainage expense. I just don't know, I've been carrying that forward because I don't want to lose sight that we have not paid that retainage. So I do want to notate that, but otherwise, do you guys have questions on revenues? Okay, council, no change. Administrator, I mentioned this yesterday, it's actually a little bit of a reduction because of the percentage changes, so general fund was a little higher, sewer was a little bit lower. Administrative assistant, clerk, treasurer, and myself, and you guys all have the 4%, but otherwise no changes. Any questions on those sections? There's no capital or anything. Administration, which is not the administrator, just administration, there we have, a little bit less in expenses, and that's just based on historical and trying to be as lean as we can and still get some stuff done. Attorney. I've got 60,000 here. I don't really know what to budget fully. Discovery is open through December of this year, so until it's over, I don't really feel comfortable reducing that. Sewer department, so this is your wastewater treatment plant. Steve and I, same as Nora and I, went through this multiple times. But I don't think we had any major changes. We did propose to reduce engineering. Just because we did that master study and we didn't see I mean, you may need some things here and there, but nothing major. And then I believe that was the only,
The outside contract, you gotta.
yeah, I broke out, it was just combined, so I made that budget note for the LaSalle retainage, so you guys could see what that was. I did not do that previously. And then he's got his capital requests down here as well, and they are numbered by priority. And we can come back to that because we'll go to Brent's, but do you guys have any questions about his budget? Do you want to talk about his capital now, or you want to look at collection
No, go for it. Steve.
first?
Talk about your capital. And all these are, first time asks, for lack of better words there, Steve. Can you remind me?
Say that again?
I call them first time asks, meaning. Has this been an ask for in the past, or is this the first time that you're requesting? So, remember one, we've got the aerators and ditch rotors, and you've got, you've got the 220 there. But I don't see anything with past budgets or anything like that. Does that mean this is our first time we're seeing this?
Wow,
That's.
But it's the first time in the budget.
first time in the
First time in the budget, but you asked,
It's been on the
it's
radar
been on the radar.
or
That's what I was-
within our long-term plan.
Okay, that's what I was curious about. Thank you. About how long, Danielle, do you have an idea? How long it's been? 4 or 5 years?
It's been on the radar since I've been here, so at least the 4 years, yeah. I guess I'm in my 5th year, whatever it is, yeah,
This is your 5th budget.
yeah.
First item on there that I have is the rotors for the ditches. Actually, the first two, the two of the rotors in the ditches and the MCCs, both of those items would have been why they weren't, and should have been part of this project. These are original 1988. So I mean, I hear you guys talking about things being old, they're 38 years old. Rotors run 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, nonstop. These are original. I don't know of anything else anymore that's continuously run anybody's place. The MCC, the electrical in there, once again, within the original asset management portion of the MCC, which is basically the main electrical.
Was that, is that gray thing you showed me? With all those X's on it? Okay.
The X's are. These are portions that we don't use anymore. So we have gotten from UIS.
Thank you.
We had gotten from UIS, proposal to replace the remaining portion of that, I said, the original asset management call for last year was 181,500. With them looking at what's left to do with about 6 cans in there plus a 200 panel and combining all that, I believe it was down to a little over $97,000. However, the original proposal for the FCC did not have, and it was 2 VFDs that would control all the motors for the ditches. VFDs will save you a ton. Well, there, the estimates that we had gotten from a study done most recently is about $18,000 a year.
Yeah.
Safety on us. Like I say, the current CC is. They have done their time looking at some of that stuff. And that right there, if we lose our electrical, we're done. Like I said, the top item on there is our rotors for our ditches. Those two are original. The pricing on that, I think, last year's was 100. It was 204,847, but that was last year's asset management plan. The current pricing we've got is a little over 204,000. And that's the same company who put in the current ones, the same process we have right now. The technology has changed such that each ditch currently has just one rotor in it. And that's what drives the oxygen into the ditch, keeps the bugs going, and keeps the circulation going, keep the process running. The current process now has 2 rotors in each ditch, kind of staggered. And they're 15 horsepower motors each versus the current one is a 30 horsepower motor. When I pull out, that's where all our electricity is being burnt. There, if you see our budget, I think our electric is 120,000 a year. So those can be controlled by the MC or the VFD that UIS is proposing to put in.
They're supposed to be at the same speed, right? They're not, isn't that?
Currently, yeah, right. So they're on off. With the other proposal there with the VFDs in there, you have to keep a certain DO in those ditches. If you go over that, you waste electricity. The target is somewhere around 2.5 to 3.0. And right now we're running maybe a 6 or 6.5. So we're wasting electricity. And there's no way to stop it. You can change belts on it, but you're currently just messing around all the time with that. So like I say, the proposal that we're getting for replacing those is a pretty good deal. Due to the fact, like I say, the stuff is 38 years old, and we're running on borrowed time. And if you lose one of those, you lost half your capacity of your plant. So that is those are my 2 priorities, top priorities on there. To give you an idea on your BFTs, so one of the classes I took with them, the gentleman who taught class was the head electrician for Port Huron, which is a Detroit plant. Plant is large enough that when they turn on a pump, they got to call GTP to tell them to turn this on. You're going to get a big draw. One of their outstations they had 3 pumps. They had a he said a 10 kW generator just to run that station. They put VFDs in that particular outstation so that we can run it off on the generator. So that tells you what kind of power savings you get from VFDs. It's phenomenal. That will help us out tremendously as far as electric goes. I know our bills went up some, but when we added that headworks building, doing that in the gas, it's like we added a whole building and process, so. That one served in there, so. The other small items we had on there were, for a proposal was for those. I don't foresee. That building being built for some time, I think our last quote from the engineers was somewhere around 1.5 million. This is original 1956, so 67 years, 80 years old. It's small, which I don't care about small, and I really don't care, I've heard, the engineers came in and talked about, they've let silver eat, launch and ice, like, we don't, it's just, there's so many new processes that the state has that, we don't have the area facilities that actually work. So from that, I say that's down the road, I didn't see that building here over my time here, so that'll be somebody down the road, but, the only reason I put windows in there is, just for energy savings, heat in the winter, cooling in the summer, so. I'd say we're still, still a work in progress. Trying to get, things shaped up there. And I'm looking for the guys that are gonna be there to be able to have them at least lined up so that down the road they don't have to worry about if this thing breaks down or what do you do? So those are the, like I said, the top two priorities I have. I think, like I said, we're running on borrowed time. I understand there's, obviously money's the big thing everywhere. These things, I think, I don't want to see it get back to where I want to walk them in place originally.
So it's your number one. Daniel, you're recommending that. Number two is that MCC. Is that what the VFD thing too that you're talking about?
Yeah, that also.
All goes together. Okay, gotcha.
That's part of the proposal.
That's gonna save us money in the long run.
Yeah, we'll say if they estimate around, let's see, I got the one study is just the one engineering study is around $18,000 a year. They figured, and followed it, they'll save them. Because I came across, this was a Jones and Henry study that they did, and I found it rather humorous. You talk about the oxidation ditches. We're talking, a plant has 2 oxidation ditches. Each ditch has 1 rotor. Both are nearing the end of their useful life. Currently, one ditch at that time, currently one ditch has its rotor out of service. The rotors are only removable by a crane. You would think that had been my years ago. This was April of 2014. And that kind of hit me hard. And you guys, if you keep going, you're gonna get back in the same situation we were 5 years ago. So for that to go this long, I say I came across this one here 6 months ago. As long as I've been there, nobody's ever mentioned doing a check or whatever of these every year, and I'm not quite sure what happened on that one, but somebody's obviously dropped the
Did
ball.
we say that causes a lot of the sludge too to settle where it's not being mixed properly?
Yes, because like I said, the newer ones that have a motor here on this side, it'll keep it moving there versus. Yeah, I mean, the pictures you can see where just big mounds where you can see where the flow stops. As I say, the lazy river, so the flow stops going there. That's where it's selling out the heavy stuff there. But once again, hopefully the headworks building will make a major impact. Flows come in there, we'll fill a dumpster up. Most times we'll put, a third or so, but high flow, you can, that thing goes right up. Sometimes you kind of wonder where there's all stuff. Great. Great. So those are my main priorities.
Fair, right, Nora?
I'd say
Fair.
yeah, I think, yeah, exactly.
I appreciate your brutal honesty, and I believe regardless of the lab, that was like one of our quote priorities, right, that we had talked about. And obviously that's something that's unrealistic, so.
Yeah, it would be nice. I know the original, in the asset management was like 485,000 agree with pricing was. But then when they did the recent study, Jones and Henry who did that, they came back, about we went with this size would be this. They bumped that up, It would, I mean, like I say, most places, you do have change, you do have, which may sound, you know, a luxury, but anywhere I've ever been, when you're in a sewer plant, they don't let you take clothes on. They have them laundered out. When we lost all our clothing allowances in Ann Arbor, the only place that kept clothing allowance was the sewer plant. Because you're not taking that home. Suppose your family or whatever, the kids or whatever, it can be nasty. However, if you see some of the stuff that happens at the water plant, you might not drink the water. This is some of the stuff that we had up there, and we got to stop in the plant. It was some of the stuff was. So people think that, you know, sewer plants are, yeah, they're nasty. The water plants, we have our share of stuff like that as well. So.
Sure, you must remember, it's the division called city.
Yeah, that helps out, yeah, it's kind of like, you look at that and go, there's not that much more to go, it's like, why didn't they do this? And now, you know, it's a fair amount of money, but you're talking about $100,000, you're talking $7.2 million loan. And who wasn't only good, who was in charge of doing the cutting on that?
But that obviously didn't work, so.
They didn't have a clue, so, anyway.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. So. I'm gonna put the 220 there. I'll talk to you guys about that in a minute. We'll come back to it. So sewer collection. There's not changes in this. And we've got the highlighted items below for capital. This is where it's gonna get a little bit tricky, and Brent can talk to you guys about these capital projects as well. We have those prioritized, but I just want to give you guys before he starts talking about that. So sewer, we do have some restricted funds here as well. We have our repair, replace and improvement fund that we're supposed to add to every year. This current year, it's 157,521, and I've put the amounts that we have to add to that. So we have to add 25,917 each year, and then we have our bond reserves. Our bond reserves we have to hold for the term of the loan. And then after that, we can use it to like make our final payment or then apply it towards capital projects. The RRI funds, we can use these for capital projects, but they have to be pre-approved. USDA. But if you guys want to, do you want Brent to talk to you a little bit about his priorities or his projects there?
All right, good. My number one is the Maple Street lift station. Just give a heads up, they're 21 years old. There's 3 7.5 horsepower pumps. They're put in 2004. They're right around $27,000 a piece. That basically takes care of the whole quadrant of that side of town to the sewer plant. They're, as of now, we pull them, they're still operating, they're still good, they're 21 years old. That's for that one. That's our, me and Mike talked, that's our new last project we did with, which we consider our new project, was still done in 2004. The second one is the SCADA system for that. The SCADA basically goes to all the DPW operators' phones. In case something high level, high alarm, something shuts down. That basically will tell us the generator's running, and of that nature, that's what that SCADA, we put that on the, after the problem we had, if you remember, Mike, on the Beagle Road lift station, we put that SCADA in when it got Mr. Burgermeister and all them down farther, because you didn't know if it's off or not, just a light come on. Without, what we had was the police driving around checking them when the storms come up. This way, it calls the phone, let you know if something's wrong. All the guys got that on their phone, so they all usually pretty well watch it.
No, you
Called
can
in
see
on
it,
that.
you don't, that's what you talked about, as well.
The lift station generator was on number 4, it's just keep it on the radar. I have not had any problems with it. We maintenance it ourselves, we go through it. There's not been, once again, it's a lift station that is 21 years old. We did take a second smaller generator, which is a 30K generator, and we've had that rewired. It will run 2 pumps. So basically, a run a pump, we'll have to start them. And so you'll have to maintain either, just save it. We did leave when that project got done, the old We did leave the siphon in, the siphon was there, there never was a lift station there before 2004. That's still there, in case it does get high in an emergency, there's 2 pipes go under, the siphon, and they still, we wash them every year, make sure they take water, just in case that does happen. And we're based on the river right there behind the Maple Street lift station, at Mrs. Waggle's house. That's where it goes in, and it does tie into the sewer, which goes back. That's what that are. And the Blissfield Heights generator, once again, is $15,000. That generator's been there for quite a while. We still change the oil. It's not shut down on us, but once again, I don't want it to shut down also. So the biggest one for me, I mean, if I had to, as we're cutting and trying to save money, would be the Maple Street, at least the lift station pumps. In the SCADA, but that's the hard, I mean, I do have a generator, I can get it there, the SCADA calls me, I can get the generator there and get pumps running on hand. So that would be my priority in the, you know, for the collection, if I was gonna pick the deal. We are working, I'm still working with the company, on the chopper pumps, as you see them that pushed across for the, Beagle Road lift station. That's the one we kept getting all the rags and towels in from remember we had all rags and towels, we still get some, it takes the whole trail apart. Basically, that Beagle Road lift station takes the whole trail apart, Westbrook, all that subdivision comes into there. And then that pumps to Maple, so that's just that Maple takes everything, the Maple Street lift station takes that whole side of town. I would be expecting, I did not bid that out for 3 of them, they are Myers pumps, they've been in there for 21 years, all the railing, all the system is Myers. I was hoping to be able to pull those pumps that were there and and then us do it ourselves, put the new pumps in and not hire that out. The DPW put them back in, and then them pumps would be stored in the back building if something got in one, broken impeller, something happened, we need some extra new stuff. It does go down, we'd have another pump to slide down.
Have any of the jobs that you prioritize rent, have any of them been on the radar for a number of years as well?
No, I mean, they've been on our radar, all down, the guys keep track of everything, it's been on there, I did not bring that the last one. And this is basically what the guys have been looking at and said, you know, cause with Mike, I think, well, that's our newest thing, you know, but it's still 21 years old.
Right.
I'm checking something that needs to be up there. They are the guys that check it every day. We check them on Monday, we check them on Friday before we leave, you know, in the mornings. And it's just been brought to my attention, so I might make sure I put that.
Right. Thank you.
Mains meters, manholes, obviously meters were good. But again, this falls back onto the maintenance of, you know, we've got 100-year-old lines, we've got blade break manholes, we got et cetera that we haven't even touched or we wanted to touch, so we don't need to. Again, prioritize it when
And once again, when we do a big project, that money be exactly, it'll have to be replaced.
And again, we're not a bank, Daniel, I like, you know, the RRI. If we can expand that, and you know, they have to be those specifically line item projects that we said. Are come down the pipe, or could we use that towards the back truck because that,
So you can use it for capital, it just has to be pre-approved by USDA. So I have not asked for any specific projects because but I would agree with, I would ask, especially, so with sewer, you're have $406,150 to put towards capital. So if you fund the 170,000 for the vac truck that you need to make the 300,000 and the 220 for the aerators, you have $16,000 left over above the 3-month reserve to work with. That's not including your RRI. So this fund's a little bit tougher. And that's why
I'm gonna take a look at that, replacing those MCC things.
and not the aerators.
No,
Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying do that
Or
and
both?
MCC thing. Both.
Okay, you can't, you got it, or you're gonna go down, well, you can. And so now you only have a 2-month reserve,
Well, and then maybe.
well, a
and-
little
and-
bit
well,
less than that.
We don't do, you know, the Blissfield Heights generator right now.
That's, yeah, I removed all that.
I'm sorry, misunderstood.
So
Say it again.
Right now, what I have is the MCC, the aerators, and 170 for the back truck. And if you
You
budgeted
have
those,
the- Say it again, you have the MCC,
yes, MCC,
yes,
aerators and ditch rotors,
the 220 and the 110, you have both of those.
yes.
Gotcha.
And then 170 for the back truck. And if you fund nothing else, that puts you. Actually, let me tell you. Exactly. Yeah, it puts you at about. Just over 2 months, about 2 months and 1 week of reserves.
And that's using that RRI.
That is not using the RI. Cause that, again, we can use that, but if you guys wanna pick something from that, we're gonna have to get it approved by USDA.
Well, I guess again, that goes back to my question, you know, we probably provided them a list of capital improvements, right, over the next 20 years or whatever, where you broke it down. Does it have to be something on that list? Or, I mean,
Is there even a list?
I would assume it was, right?
Yeah, they have an asset management plan.
You know,
When I talked to Haley at USDA, she said that it has to be like maintenance. You can't put it towards operating, so you can't say we're gonna pay wages or we're gonna pay the electric. It has to be maintenance, repairing or maintaining your infrastructure. So I think any of our capital projects would qualify, but they have to be pre-approved.
And that, since we've not done that before. so
I have not. I don't know what that entails. I'm more than happy to do it. I did not submit anything because I wanted you guys to pick which projects.
I think any of those three would qualify. The aerators, obviously, maintenance, efficiency, the MCC is, as well as the bag truck, because that's gonna help us maintain everything down the line, including the repairs that are required. You know, just cleaning out the sewer and whatnot. I don't see why none of those.
I know you and I discussed for a minute there the other day, the money that we pay contractor is that being in here at all, or is that?
It's not because I'm still,
Trying to.
I don't want to say fighting, that's not a good word, but so USDA does owe us additional funds. Outside of the 182 for retainage that I have accounted for, and that's what Steve's referencing. So we made 2 payments to the contractor for the upgrade project that have not been reimbursed. The total amount. Can I grab the paper really quick? Because I don't want to tell you this accurately. Hold on a second.
MCC thing and. Very.
Yeah. Sorry, I just wanted to make sure I was telling you accurately. So USDA loans have $674,046.77. Of that, 182 dollars is the retainage. The rest of it is payments we've made to LaSalle, but we've not been reimbursed from that loan yet because it all happened at the end of the project. We didn't get a lien waiver, which has to come from the contractor. So USDA won't release those funds. So we've already spent the money. So once that comes in, it'll be revenue not tied to an expense, but I haven't put it in the budget because I have no clue. At this point, USDA is telling me that we're not going to get that until everything is finalized with this lawsuit. I am still trying to work with them on finding a solution to get at least the portion. I'm not asking for the retainage, but the portion that we've paid. It's just it's actually under the terms of the loan. It's not.
Sometimes.
And they are working with me. That's why I don't want to say fighting with them because that's not a good way. They are very helpful. Like they are also they would like to give us that payment, but I can't budget for it because it could not be this year. It could be, I don't know when it'll be.
Technically, whatever we have, and be able to have that later on.
Right.
Pay around 400.
Yeah, I can do the math if. Give me a second, but yeah, it's right around there. $491,485.77. No, you're good. I mean,
Well, that's good. I mean,
Yeah.
that should be settled by 26, 27 at the latest, and we can rebuild the
Like
reserves back to
Yeah, we.
3 to 6 months.
That's our money to get back, it's like.
Yeah.
I like what you had stated, what you just did, the budget now.
um,
But it's also a little cushion there to say, oh, we're at our 2 months, just over a 2 month reserve. We really do have, we don't know when it's gonna happen, but.
you know, I mean, the other side of that coin is we also have an outstanding lawsuit.
You need us to. You need us to confirm or.
Yeah, I just need, I think, direction if you guys want to do that. I mean, we can always amend. I can certainly with these projects reach out to Haley with USDA and get approved to spend the RRI money and see what portion of that because my other question to her is, can we spend a portion of this year's payment or only what we've paid previously? So I don't know if we can spend the 157 or if we can do the full 183. So I'll have to confirm that, but I'll get some information from her. And again, once I know that, we can always, if we need to do an amendment, we can. I don't know, that's not funding anything for sewer collection except the back truck. I just want to make sure you guys know that. I'm not saying it's wrong. I just want to.
I think this time. We have a choice there. In my opinion, free items.
If we get that reimbursement, we can fund all 5 of those for the requests.
Yes. If we get that. Yeah. And we'll put together.
Right, we do have a temporary generator still, though, we feel out there. We have you have a generator on a trailer still, right, which I know it's not.
So you mean,
Like say, yeah, Blissfield lights actually did go down or whatnot.
yes, yes, the biggest thing with pumps were made. There's no 4 hoses to the next manhole, it's across the river. So that's all I'm saying, if there's no bypassing, maybe if say one of the others, I can bypass pumps, move it to another manhole, get it there. Maple Street, there's no bypass, it's at the river. That's all. Pumps there.
I guess, can I give my opinion here? And this is not personal to anybody. My recommendation would be to fund the aerators and ditches, to wait on the MCC and to fund the Maple Street lift station pumps at the 88,000. Well, let's see what we can get funded from the USDA reserves. And if we're able to get this because I'm continuing to work with Haley on this, if we can get this, then we can add that MCC. And I'm not saying it's not important, but I do think that we need to balance both departments and we can't focus solely on one and then the other one's going to be in the same situation. As well. So that would be my recommendation. Obviously, it is completely up to you guys. You have the final say. I feel like I need to share that. I guess.
Because the FCC, while it's nice, but it's an inefficiency thing versus, and operation sort of thing, if that list issue goes down.
And it does need to happen. I'm not by any means saying the MCC is not important. I think if you're looking at kind of the whole fund in itself, I think those are higher priorities. If we do that, I think, I mean, it gives you a little more reserves, but not a whole lot. I don't think it changes the picture much. So you're looking at about 2.5 month reserve, a little over. But again,
But then if that goes through, we've had 150 to say we could do the MCC and potentially SCADA or something for, right?
well, that's the other thing. You can fund these and we can ask USDA to take that to fund the MCC. So then we're funding all 4. But that's what, yeah, that's what I would do. But again,
Say that again.
I would fund those projects and then I would ask the USDA to fund the MCC. So then you're doing all 4 of them. You're doing the MCC, the aerators, the vac truck and Maple Street.
Understand.
And you're still maintaining your 2.5
Then you got
month
40 grand
reserve.
still in the art and 25,000.
Correct. Yes. And so I think overall that it helps meet their immediate needs and keeps us in a better position financially. I don't know, do you guys have an opinion on that?
No,
It's okay if you disagree too. It won't hurt my feelings, so.
First 15 years, them ditches, I've told them ditches are, them roads, I've changed bearing boxes, I've changed gearbox.
Yeah, and that is including them.
Myself, and I've put the bearings and stuff in. Like,
Do they have to be empty to do that?
They are well,
Like, no, they don't have to be.
They don't have to be empty to do that.
You can do that without, but we would probably have, like I said, the company will come in and the one that's gonna do that. And they'll set everything in place, so, but no, they don't have to, but, I would probably have them empty for safety reasons, I guess. One at a time, obviously. And try to work now. But yeah, that sounds logical, reasonable, and if down the road, we're able to get the money that way, And that's the meantime, we make it work and. Some of the things that they put in with the project where they. And, you have to have your disconnect by your unit, and some of the things where they put in the VFDs and the disconnect, the way the starters are, all those things that they couldn't eliminate that, and it didn't make a whole lot of sense. Their engineering, once again, was some part investment. So, unfortunately, what's gonna be left, but that sounds reasonable logic to me. So,
And I get the logic behind the but we need to spend funds to continue infrastructure improvements anyway. It's literally just kind of a placeholder in a way, but we would
Yeah.
be doing these improvements anyway. So,
Right.
yeah, let's keep that minimal. But I don't like we should.
Okay.
Alright.
Um,
It's just saying
I
for
will-
the MCC, it had the history, the numbers, you know what I'm saying, that's.
Yeah, and
It is.
I don't
That's-
think
that's-
you guys wanting to budget that is not important. It's just, we can
do it
only,
This way,
yeah.
okay.
I was just trying to make it work the best possible way.
Danielle, that's why you're there, and so we appreciate your suggestion.
I certainly don't want to drop the lab thing though, again, right, with it. Yeah, it's a pipe dream.
We don't have
It-
any held back to the lab, do we?
No, it is in our capital improvement plan, and we've got that built out now so that we don't lose sight of things. So, I mean, I'm not saying it might not be funded in the next 5 years, but it'll continue to stay on there until it
But
is.
safety wise, what I mean, you should be able to have a place where you can clean up before you get out of there, right? That, I don't even know, I've been on the wireless storm door, literally slamming shut from
Okay.
1965.
That's not there anymore.
No, okay, thank God, but you know what I'm saying, like, you deserve to have a place where you can operate efficiently and safely. So then, even if it's not a complete rebuild, what can we do?
Because the structure,
I'll make
itself,
it, yeah,
the structure itself is not bad, like I say, it's just the requirements that the state's going across with, and then. Things that you have to do within that lab, say we just, I should have brought it with me, just the plumbing, the internal plumbing on that place, we just replaced, rotted out piping in there, so we're holding it together.
I mean, it's not plus, you're literally, your microwave is probably, you probably have a, fecal sample tester on the top of a microwave, that's always.
Go out the other building, we lunch out the other building, it's better than needed there, but we had it's about.
See, that's good. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any other questions about water and sewer budgets?
And we just have to, again, be transparent, frank with the public, this is what it costs, this is what it is.
And we got,
It's not getting any better.
we are transparent.
Okay, so we will jump back to general fund and
Yeah, I know,
try to do as much as we can.
good. Laura's need to get, Laura's need to.
Is it?
Yeah,
goes
if-
into a pumpkin?
If you guys want to, you're more than welcome to stay. If you don't, I understand. So Brent, you're stuck with us, sorry.
Eat your supper, Danny.
Oh, yeah.
So we ended at municipal improvement in general fund, which is on page GF6. Thank you, Lisa. And I realized last night that I had the DDA transfer. I think I did this year too, in two spots. I had it here and under economic development. It's just gonna be under economic development. So when you're looking at your sheet, ignore that 20,000 there because it's down further. But otherwise, we are asking to carry forward the wayfinding entryway signs, and I added $500 just in case.
I do not want wayfinding sign. I'm going to go on record for that.
Okay,
The ones we have are just fine.
otherwise, that is the same. So wayfinding is up to council. That was approved this year, and just with all of the other projects, we've not been able to get it done, so.
Now we start talking about all the other stuff like. Wayfinding is like,
Do you want me to highlight that to come back to it, or?
I say highlight it, let. Wayfinding. Yeah, highlight it, so we can come back to it.
Okay.
Take it off.
Are there any other questions about municipal improvement?
Yeah, that 20 is pretty much paying the DPW for the DPW.
Yeah, and that's actually under economic development, Mike, so I apologize for the duplication there.
Oh, you did
Yeah,
set that, did you?
yeah, it's okay. But yes, it is for DPW. That's what DDA is asking for it. Where is the offset that?
248, all right, let B.
Yep, so police is next. We've got,
Lower wages. Right,
yes,
How do you look on it from this year? 24, 25 was 435. 25, 26 is 596.
well, that's projected year end. The actual budgeted was 537,800. So
Understand.
so it is higher from what we'll actually spend projected, and that's because we've had an officer who's not worked the full year. But they do have the 4% increase there. Chief really did not request changes. I don't think anything. I was trying to double check, make sure I'm not telling you wrong. Yeah, there's no changes. And then his items are highlighted in yellow. And he has prioritized these, they're numbered off to the right-hand side there based on what is most important to them. So similar to what the other supervisors have done. I don't know if you want to try to fund any of these now or if you want to wait. As a reminder, right now with what you guys have budgeted, a few things, you have 713,438 remaining for capital projects, and that's after maintaining a 3-month reserve.
I step back up to the health insurance, because how do you calculate that? Just looking through the different. You know, PD versus DPW. Like PD's health insurance goes up 47,000. And then DPW has the same amount of staff close to. theirs
But
goes up 1,000.
DPW is spread out all across different funds, so they're in general fund, they're in DPW, they're in Village Hall grounds, they're in Depot, they're in every one of the parks. That's just general fund, then they're also in DDA, they're in, so that's why you're seeing, it's not gonna equate that, because it's percentages in the departments, yes.
And then economic development, you have. 7,000. I guess we.
So that only went up $800,
What's that?
that only went up $800.
No, that's, I'm assuming you base it on a percentage rate from wages.
Yeah, so we have a worksheet that we use every year that Brandon actually developed. And then we've updated it. He did that. When did you do the employee wages and benefits? Was that my first year or second?
First year. Yeah,
Was it-
I think we should go shoot, well, technically your second year.
And we've been using that and just updating it so that it helps us to build out so that we can show exactly where the different funds, how much of it pays for. So we budgeted, and this is hard with benefits, we don't ever know what the increase is gonna be when we're creating the budget. So we did budget 20%. I do know that we will be double-digit increases. I'm meeting with, the Franklin benefits August 7th. I don't know, beginning of August. And I'll have a better idea, and we're gonna talk about some different things to look at that too. But. I mean, that
Well,
is,
wouldn't the percentage be the same across the board, say? Economic development, which is wages 12,000, health insurance 7, and pool is.
Well, the pool-
At 12,000 and it's
the
5,000.
pool only has DPW because the seasonal employees don't get them. So there's a lower impact there. It doesn't equate because of the way all of the wages come out of the funds differently.
I think maybe also have to have in this family size.
Right, and it just depends on the actual staff at the time.
Yeah.
All right, then we're in the department, makes sense.
Well, and it's also age-based, so like one employee could cost $1,100 and another employee could cost $500.
Okay.
Okay, so police department, did you guys want to try to fund any of that now, or are you gonna do capital at the end?
I'm okay with talking about them now, no, I created for that.
And then Mike, are you doing Ken's comments? Or am I?
How about you?
Yeah, because I think he had general fund ones. I don't know if it was in this part, but. Oh, he did list. Just some priorities for him for. Capital, he said, river erosion is his #1 priority. He said skate park, he would be okay phasing it in. Ellis Park LED, he said phase in if possible. And he said he'd like to wait on the pedestrian bridge to see what we can do with MDOT when they widen and look at the 223 project. And that's the only comments, the rest of them we talked about yesterday.
He doesn't have anything for police in particular.
He does not know. I just wanted to make sure we didn't miss his
He
comments.
said something about it, he kind of just decided, like, prioritize what he.
Yeah, they're off to the side. So his #1 is the body worn cameras. And this could be, so that's actually would be a lease though. So it'd be a 5-year commitment. If you guys do the 6,600, you would be committing to that for 5 years. And that would be to upgrade their body cameras.
That's 6,600 per year.
Yes. And we did the same thing with the in-car cameras. And, yeah,
That's what the bill was just saying, what do we do that with? That was-
yes. Yep, and the LPR for the in-car cameras. And those payments are actually above that. They're already budgeted because we've committed that. His second one was portable radios. And then third priority is portable radio batteries. None of these things are, I mean, they're,
Yeah, okay.
those probably should go together. Four for him was holsters for 2,000, sidearm for 900.
Thanks, guys.
7 was shotguns for 2,000. Mobile radio for the SRO vehicle. Radar for the SRO vehicle. And I will say, I hope I'm saying this right. 1 through 7 would be like his, if he got those, he'd be happy, and the rest of them, it would be nice, but he understands if they can't be funded.
1 through 7 are needs. 6 or 8 through 11 are wants.
Yes.
What's the wireless microphone actually?
Gosh, I wish he's on vacation this week, otherwise he would have been here. We went through all of this, but I've done so much budget stuff.
Well, pop in the numbers 1 through 7. And let's. The numbers, there was that reception desk, that was something that they felt.
I don't think he had that included in his, so that is what he had looked at doing, is having a entry area into the police department because of some new rules with lien access. So anytime anybody enters back there, they'll have to record it, the day, the time, who it was. And then they'll have to report it. And if they had an access area that like locked them off from going any further, they would exempt that, they wouldn't have to report that area. So that's what he was trying to see, if it would be something that maybe made sense. That being said, we don't get a ton of visitors back there. We do get people, I'm not saying we don't, but and I'm not sure he got all the quotes for that, so he could talk to you about it in more detail. But I put in the others, and then I'm gonna leave these highlighted and we'll come back to them. Is that okay?
We have 15,000.
I have 16,200.
With the numbers 1 through 7, that including the reception desk.
Not included.
Not included.
Yeah, so there'd be 1 through 5 plus 7.
I'm not sure I'm sold on the radar with the SRO vehicle. Yeah, I kind of questioned about back there one day when I saw them. The mobile radio does make sense, but again, with the issues that we're having with the 800 system with the county. I think it would be nice, how much time, I don't know, that the SRO does spend in there. There's also a solution of like a portable radio that can charge. Like your portable, it hooks in and it charges in that vehicle as well, but I think that could be a solution as well, which make it cheaper.
That's number 9.
Radar.
Yeah.
But
Right.
again, thinking mass casualties or something like that, you know, where we need a mobile radio to work, that's kind of a critical thing for, that's, you know, as much as I hope that it never happens.
That's the right.
So do you want me to add that
Is that
34?
Want to make sure that they. I think his solution is doing the mobile radio, you know, like, yes, a portable version, I think that's cheaper, but it may get us the same solution.
Okay, I'll add it and we can, I'm gonna leave all those highlighted, so we can always come back to them. Any other questions about PD? And again, we'll revisit if need be. So the next department is DPW. And there is not changes here either. There, again, 4% is normal. We do typically budget for the safety equipment and cones. I've asked for that again. It's not a ton of money, or we have asked for it. Any questions on that department for myself or Brent?
How many cones did you lose this year?
I don't know.
Hey, we believed you.
I
You should've
did.
just left the 7.
I wouldn't be surprised.
So next department is engineering, and this is the river erosion project that we added the additional task. Or I'm sorry, additional sections, and we did part of the task that we're working on this year. This would be to take us through task 10, and then really it would be to start getting hopefully some grant funding and construction and things like that. And this was, just as a refresher, Ken said his #1 preference for capital projects too. Do you want me to put that 110 in right now to try to? Yeah. And then I am asking for $9,000 to do the pedestrian bridge inspections. They aren't currently regulated, but it's recommended that we do those every 3 years. So this is actually year 3. So we would be due next summer for them. So just trying to plan to make sure we keep up on that.
Yes, because they were not kept up.
Do you want me to put that in right now? And I'm gonna leave all these highlighted in case we need to.
What else, we did all our inspections, though.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying, we did not. We did not,
Well, especially with,
our inspections, so. We didn't maintain our inspections, yes. Yeah, but
Rubbish and recycling is the next one, and this is just our dumpster service and recycling service for the village. So there's a slight increase there, but just to make sure we're covering any cost adjustments.
yeah, Dave, remember
It,
that.
I did not put anything in here. We can certainly talk about adding that if you want. And thanks for bringing that up again. I know you mentioned it yesterday. So.
yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, we're trying to say. Where are we showing the public that we're spending this properly and, chewing out it overnight, but thinking about, the library millage and things like that. Yeah, that money could offset the pool liner maybe 1 year, you know what I mean, but we have to get the other information up to say. This is something that wouldn't have happened, here's where the benefit is, you know what I mean, you're paying for the library still, but you're also getting this back into the village and reinvesting it. It's just not getting sucked up in the operations.
Why don't we do this? And I don't know if this sounds, we have to prove, but why don't we put that on our radar for next year to literally, because we've been saying that. And this year, like in better words, library money for a pool, taking care of that situation. And then next year, really saying we are gonna do a waste day. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't realize. We put things on the back burner, we say we're gonna do it, but we can say that for next year.
Good. Any idea what it would cost us to do a couple dumpsters?
I don't think a couple dumpsters would be enough.
I would say, it's gonna be crazy expensive.
We did get, I guess my question to you, Mike, is what kind of waste are you looking for? Like C&D waste or?
Not like the,
County does,
liquids or the other tires, that kind of thing.
county does all these every year, at least of them. For tires or electronics and.
Yeah.
Right, packing it all.
And I think we did one before and Rotary funded to that, I believe.
You get might have voted for the county, whoever did back park lot by the recycle center.
But I don't know what.
It was.
Exactly, I remember that, man.
But I mean, we think about how many people, Jackie, could want to come up here and talk about mattresses or, you know what I mean? It's not only a pride thing, but also an ordinance enforcement sort of thing. Maybe that does help us be a little bit better across the board and saying, number one, we're enforcing what we're trying to do, but also we're giving the residents some sort of assistance to say, okay, we're gonna help, you know, you're paying a lot of tax, you get a kickback from.
Yeah.
What we
So-
investigate that and see what it-
I will tell you guys that what communities are seeing is that it's not helping their blight problem because the community hold it and they keep it for the community cleanup day so that they're not paying for it. So it's sitting there for a year and then it's cleaned up on the community day. So a lot of communities have started to go away from this. Unless you can do it more regularly, they're not seeing the benefit. It's actually causing kind of the reverse effect where they're seeing some more blighted or trash pile up or accumulate. So that would be the only thing I would caution us on is I understand where you're coming from, and I think it used to be that it did help with a lot of that, but I mean, like, we all sitting here know things are more expensive and I think people are trying to find more creative ways to save money, which I understand. I'm one of those people, but that's my only, and I think we kind of talked about that a little bit last year, and that's why we decided not to do it. I
it's
certainly
not
like
just
the
that.
idea. I don't know. I mean, and we could do it and make sure that there's the understanding that we're not committing to an annual thing so that we don't have that accumulation. And I'm not saying we do it once and never again, but you know, it's something we evaluate on
But
a
it
year
goes
to
to show
year.
the public that we're cognizant of, you know, we're trying to help you out, we're trying to offset costs, we're trying to say, you're getting this back for what you're paying into. That,
Yeah.
right? So it's-
Another idea, just throwing this out there, is we have the large bag tags through Stevens. Instead of doing a community cleanup day and like bringing in dumpsters, maybe we mail everybody a large bag tag and they get a free bag tag for this year. And general fund would then have to pay that to the garbage fund. But that might be, and I'm saying one, maybe you say it's two, they get two a year or something to help them with that cost. I don't know, just throwing out maybe a
I do too.
different idea.
I like that better than.
And it's not as labor intensive for us, the trash company's already doing it.
That's good.
What can you put in that large bag?
Any large item, a mattress, a couch,
The mattress, the
you put it,
refrigerator.
It's a large
Dresser.
item tag. It's $10.
Is it truly a bag or just a tag that just?
it's a tag, that you would just stick on whatever large item that you have.
Car.
And Stevens does ask, like, they want, like the mattresses, they want them wrapped so that they're not getting moisture and rain and then we usually recommend that, well, have you picked up a wet mattress, Mike? It'd be heavy. We usually recommend that people call Stevens and give them a heads up to make sure, because some of their trucks, they will have one driver and nobody, but I don't know, just throwing that out as a maybe idea.
I'll grab that mattress I threw out behind the building there. Get it out of the way. Playing on the riverbank.
I like that idea.
I do too. I think, again, it's a small, thank you, gesture.
Yeah, I mean, if you did one bag tag per household, it's gonna be about $16,000. If you do two, it's gonna be 32,000, $10.
Tag, got it.
Yeah, tag.
Okay.
And that's literally a couch, it's a mattress, that's some large scale, whatever, so about the 50 gallon bag or whatever.
How many times? Pro mattresses on this? Make any year. Or couch or. I think.
I'm maybe buy one or two large tags a year at that, so, yeah, I don't think I've ever.
I can't afford to throw away a mattress a year.
That's fun down.
Yes, the next kid gets it. Okay, I made a note and highlighted it, cleanup day question mark. So if we want to budget something, we can certainly do that. Planning commission, there's, I think. I did ask for $500 for the conferences and workshop session increase, and that's because this also funds our annual joint board meeting. So I just wanted a little bit of extra room there to bring in some different trainers and things. Other than that, it is the same. I do want to notate too, that you guys will see there's a projected increase of 28,000 on outside contractor that was not budgeted. I just want to remind you that that is the Mishta Housing Readiness Grant that we received for the ordinance rewrite. So it'll be amended, but I didn't want you to think we just went and spent $28,000 randomly without it being budgeted. So I thought I'd remind you. Yeah, it's line 349. Any questions on planning commission? Zoning administrator, so there's some changes on my screen from what you have printed, because last night Mike had brought up the administrative assistant and that it was 1650. I moved that into this section here. So for example, the workshops and conferences went from 1,000 to 2,000, so that she still has some money to do training. It's just merged into one section. We added the phone here, but otherwise no changes to this section either. I'm going to keep going, but if you have questions, stop me. Economic development, there's the 4% increase. And then this is where we've got the 20,000 transfer to DDA that they requested. And I do have that highlighted. I've got it accounted for currently. So if we want to adjust that, we can. And I know we talked about that a little bit. I can make that larger too. A little bit last night as well.
Sure. So was that what, 43,875? Is that what, as I have the over, is that where you're at?
Yeah, yep.
So again, going back to. Again, what does it cost us for Main Street DDA? You know, we're rolling over a lot for the DPW to do the sort of physical things downtown. Economic development, we used to contribute 10,000 from the council towards the economic development portion of the DDA director's salary. Somehow magically that worked into benefits and everything else, which really compounded those costs. So again, you know, by the time we're looking at, yes, it's critical, I sit on that board. But it was, you know, like $230,000. Or what did we spend for DDA? I don't know. I think that's, and what is our budget for DDA versus economic development versus municipal improvement? You know, I mean, is the bank worth the box for? Do we need to start considering making cuts of it?
So your expenditures for DDA are 283,900. Is that what you were asking?
Yeah,
When,
sorry.
yeah, that's just in the DDA fund. It's that much.
Hey, right, you said $10,000 just changed from $11,000 for the DDA drop your salary. That is always 20%, and now at that time the salary was 50,000. But do you want to go
But
ahead
it
and say
didn't
10,000?
consider benefits. It was
What's that?
just a flat 10. It was flat 10.
That's what I just want to.
Right.
Because it was a percentage, it was never 10,000, even it was always a percentage.
What are you saying was a percentage?
Okay, so you keep saying $10,000, just one thing is to transfer and then when you go up, you say, compensate for the director's salary for the DDA.
Right.
It was never like that 10,000, it was 20%.
I
But-
thought it was
We never discussed.
But
it.
you're
I think
saying
that
it was,
always a number.
and there was no benefits?
Correct.
That must have been before me though,
It
because
was.
it's not,
Yeah.
okay, I'm like, because it's never been 10 since I've been here.
It was, it was.
And I know you've mentioned that before, Mike, I just. I don't know when or how that changed,
Just trying to say, you're looking at Main Street DDA, economic development, all that kind of stuff, you're right at 300. thousand, right, and then some, a little bit more than that. So again,
Yeah, my only, yeah. I mean, but Main Street in itself is not all economic development.
right,
Obviously a big portion, but. I guess you guys have
and then-
specific,
And then it's going back to, you know, how much of a reserve do they have, right, or does the DTA have? For what plan, what are the big projects, what are the, you know, what are the goals, when we're talking 3-6 months between every other fund, the DDA is looking at. What, almost a full year's worth of reserve, right,
no,
or. Well, 83 out of 10, you know what I mean? I'm sorry, like 83, yeah, no.
yeah,
Yeah.
because they have some restricted funds, so their fund balance is 11862. But then they've designated some restricted funds for specific projects, and that's where you're seeing the 83. But that is, I think,
Which is
6
quite a high
months.
reserve, you know, when you're asking for assistance from other funds, that.
But this ending, okay, so this ending funding. Does include $20,000.
Oh, well, no.
Yes.
Does it
Yeah.
include, yes, okay.
Yes, I have it in there already.
So you can see like,
Oh, I'm not saying, I understand where you're coming from. I do.
so just throw that out there again, you know. It's. It's an important aspect, and there are a lot of. Good things that we do, and a lot of. You know, but
Mike, it's a 3.8 month reserve.
3.8,
Yes.
and it's.
That's good. I mean, good to know. It's not like a 6 month or a year or whatever. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
So I'll keep that highlighted too. Recreation, we're gonna have to talk about this. So I've got the 200,000 here, and keep in mind, we've not funded any capital in the pool, so we would need to increase that here if we fund capital in the pool. And then pool has all been moved to Parks and Rec that we talked about yesterday, and we'll need to talk about more. Festival, I have no changes here.
Parks and Rec, 200,000. And that is, you're literally just continue the programs that we're doing, right, that's what you're saying,
Yes.
but. The pay to play or whatever thing doesn't equal that out, it's not a wash, right, that's literally 200,000. That we have to come up. Or,
So that's with the pool expense operating as well.
It's gonna be 80 events, I think they had that.
Correct, yes.
So I see one question, yeah, where you're saying $200,000 right there, but let's say that this is, I just think it number 170. I might just change for that, that's 200.
We're gonna transfer what we approve unless we amend the budget with
Oh.
council,
Okay.
and we would report and keep you guys updated on that. But we need to transfer those reserved funds if we're gonna move it too.
but pretty much 50 really then for everything above and beyond that pool, right? Other Parks and Rec. Or 40, 43. It was
No, because the
157.
that we had the donated funds, so
It's 157 operating.
yes. And then the Bailey funds, and then there's a small portion that is being asked for Parks and Rec. To offset their costs, so pre-moving the pool, they were asking for $10,000.
Right.
They're now with moving the pool, asking for 190 for the pool and 10. Which equals the 200, and then potentially any capital that we do for the pool. So then below that, pool's obviously zeroed out. Like I said, festival's the same,
Hold that. I'm trying to hold that in. Okay.
Bachmeyer Little League Park,
Festival, 2,500 flat, right? The outside contractors clean up.
it's 2,850, it's 2,500 for the Boy Scouts to do trash pickup, and then 350 for a dumpster, and Stevens has donated one, so we just budget one typically. No, you're okay, okay, Bachmeyer Little League Park, we have. I don't think any changes here, at all, I think yeah, it's the same. Other than some capital projects that we're not doing that are completed, but any questions there?
Soapbox again, once again, just like last night, the trust fund for the dugout is fine, take that out, 36,000. You're still at $30,425 for Fire Park, right?
Yes,
We're concerned about 7,000 for the festival, right? How many more people get something out of the festival than unfortunately Little League, right? Which is 4 times.
I think that your logic is skewed.
Yeah.
I think that Little League is a benefit to the community. I think that anytime we have a tournament here, anytime we have postseason games and invite outside communities to come in, that those people who visit, use our restaurants, they buy gas at our gas stations. They spend money.
I agree with you. The same thing with the DD events, the same thing with the festival, right? So, but again, we're concerned about 7,000 with the festival. This is 30,000, 4 times the festival, right? I get, and I totally respect, again, your position. Obviously, you've got some knowledge based on it because you're running that. So again, I'd love to hear your input on that. But again, when we're saying wants versus needs or benefits of.
and then keep in mind, this also has the playground, so it's not just a field. No, Barber is just the field, but this, I mean, that has the boundless playground. It's now got the story walk. I mean, in that
Bathroom there.
there are bathrooms there. And then it also has the field and the concessions.
Can I have one question about the perfect? Yes, put the dugout repairs were in place. What would it be to work the Little League out? I'm a bunch of guys there, all play travel ball, their kids do. They send a lot of the dugouts they go to now aren't dugout, they're above. And is that a thought to save? I'm just asking a question, we should save money, save a lot of money.
You know that
For-
they don't want to do that, right?
I'm just throwing something out to say a thought, which they said they play on some of the nicest fields there is. Also, and they're all above ground dugouts. I'm just asking that. I don't play little, I'm just bringing it up.
We asked that a couple
Eric,
of
and you know, I've been around Little League forever. So you
That
know.
was a fair question. Probably, well, go ahead, Mel, you go ahead.
The one field at Bachmeyer, you could probably very easily eliminate and go above ground completely. Barber, because of the way that the spectator areas are at, if you give that there, you would not be able to see a lot of the, let's just say from the pitcher's mound into home plate from the stands area on either side of the field. So there, because those are down on the ground, you can see over that roof effective easily enough, or it's not a problem.
And we're gonna be a way to fix that. So you would say, fire, that would be a bit of. I just throwing it out there. I know it save a lot of money being around them and the Michigan, the freezing and the thawing, they're only so, a couple feet deep, it just cracks and heaves them and moves them. So that's.
But if that's not our funds, it's kind of a move.
I just thought maybe that would save you.
So, again, fair question. I think this estimated cost is a little out of line. I think that we could do a lot of this work, just like, Mikeson said last year, we could do a lot of this work with volunteer labor. The supplies are gonna cost what the supplies cost. But I think, we could do a lot of the work. Knocking bricks down, putting bricks back up, a lot cheaper than $40,000.
I think of the barber, I think this Superior did fix one on his own.
Yeah,
About state, and if you.
about 8 years ago. Yeah, we took the roof off of the one. Pushed, and actually dug out behind the dugout, cleaned that area out, put some tiles in to get the water to drain a little better. And then moved that wall back and core filled them, and took the roof back. That was relatively inexpensive.
Yes, the secret.
Oh, yeah, I was just kind of curious.
It's. Daniel and I talked about this before. It's a cool thing.
It is.
And it mimics. Maybe as it's built, and it looks, it's. We have gotten compliments. On our field, all our fields. From outside, like, that we have the best facility in the state of Michigan. And I believe that. I mean, I've been to some places in some areas that are less than standard. It's kind of a, people actually look forward to coming and playing. I think we could do it for a lot less than $40,000, $35,000.
Like we've got a lot of local contractors that. They'll make their time or, charity wise. Advertising, I mean, I know you don't want to sign all that all over the place, but we're on there.
We have some construction, I think we have some construction companies on the fence already.
We have a discussion.
It's a choice, you know what I mean? There's a lot of push for pickleball right now, right? So how do we appease the pickleball group? And how do we appease the little league group? And how do we appease all these people that want skate park? But again, we can't fund all this stuff on our own. That's the problem. That's really just, I guess, my point is what I'm trying to get across. It's unfair. We can't get a team to say, oh, we're gonna fund each of these little entities on the entire taxpayer's dime. It's just unsustainable. And that's what we're fighting with, for learning.
And again, fair point. However, this has been on the radar for several years. And it's been pushed.
Are you talking about that?
This maintenance, right, the parking lot, the dugouts. The maintenance on both those fields. It's not been a priority one. But it's been on the radar for a long time, and it's not. Like I say, we can do the dugouts cheap. My concern is the parking lot, if we ever choose to do that. There's pre-milling, I mean, you can grind and mix that old stuff in with the new product and put down a nice parking lot. But
Let's talk about just like, just the Bachmeyer Little League Park. So if we go ahead and we don't worry about the trust fund, the trust fund is the trust fund, and that kind of equals it out, is that right?
Well, so if you guys recall, we closed those trust funds, but we had to file that closure with the courts. And during that process, we told the courts, they said, you have to use it in that area. What are you using it for? And this is what we submitted it for. So I made a note to ask, so like, what happens if we have leftover money from that? I think we can use it on other things, but it cannot go to any other location.
It's gotta go to that.
Correct, but I am gonna verify that with legal just to make sure.
So let's just say that we do have the 30,000. Okay, so that I think is what Mike is saying. Okay, so. Get the 66, take out the 36, these are the 30,000 cost of that program. Am I right so far? And so you are.
And the balance playground.
Oh, right, I'm just calling it that.
Right.
So. You're saying let's revisit this because of the cost factor, and how do we, just like with Boy Scouts and just like the other things. I do think that warrants a discussion.
And we can certainly
Yeah.
invite Ball to come to
Yeah.
a work session, just like the Boy
What
Scouts
do you think
and
about that? Good, bad, in between, or that be too extreme? Be. Is it fair or not fair? I mean,
I think it's fair. I mean, you guys want answers. Our best to do. Ask.
and how do you feel, Jim, what are your thoughts?
Good to do.
Have that discussion with them as well. Thanks, Daniel.
I gotta always be the only one, huh?
I mean,
I appreciate that.
this is not, this is exactly what this budget is about, is having these type of discussions. And there's nothing wrong with having these type of discussions with the Little League people. It's exactly what we did with the library. I think Danielle is right on. There's nothing wrong with having a discussion. We're not saying we're not going to do it. We're just saying, let's talk about it. It's something that we can work out together. So that maybe it doesn't have to have the cost $30,000.
well, I mean, and at the bare minimum, maybe it helps set clear expectations of each other. What do we expect of them and vice versa?
That's, well, okay, you gotta have that discussion, so I'm like, I don't think you're asking anything wrong at this time. That makes you feel like.
Before we move on, I want to say thank you, Brett, for, they've been working on the fields, patching, competitive paint and stuff, so.
Yeah.
You can see, progress going along, so thank you.
It might be one of those things that, not that you guys can't continue doing that, but if you get that back thing, you're not gonna have time to do this. Maybe this is where your volunteers and your contractors come in, and we don't have that cost, or as much of the cost. Okay, thank you. You're gonna be on that back truck, brother.
So Ellis Park, I don't have any changes here other than the newly requested capital, which is highlighted. Skate park, we could phase this in. We could also do, we do need to resurface that. We could also do a smaller, so the 300 is to resurface and to replace with like. So we could scale it back, we can phase it in, we can do some different things there. The permanent cornhole boards they were requested last year. I'm not gonna say that's a priority at all. Phased picnic table, we did purchase some this year. I would like to continue this project. We have a ton of them throughout our parks that are in rough shape. And the new ones look really good down there. We've had a ton of compliments. And huge, yes, huge shout out to DPW for putting those together. The lighting at the ball field needs to be upgraded. We have, I think, pretty much exhausted all sources of getting lights. Scott Abbott was kind enough to share contact with us. They can't get them because he was able to get some for their fields because they're in the same boat as us. We are doing the skate park lighting this year. That was in the budget and you guys have recently approved that. So that's requested. We had a capital request to do some median beautification at Ellis Park, and this is the median that we're referring to is where the lighted LED sign is and the actual Ellis Park sign. And then interior basketball court resurface. Are there any of these that you want me to input now, or do we want to come back to all of them?
What is the inside basketball court? What is that?
Inside fence.
Oh, inside. the-
Basketball court down at Ellis Park by the skate park, because we resurfaced,
We did resurface the old.
the outside, yes.
There's nothing here, but perhaps somewhere else I don't realize. Emily had emailed that regarding the bathrooms.
So the bathrooms are included in our capital plan, but they are not requested this year.
They open for the festival.
No, I quote, as soon as the port.
I saw it. And that doesn't that defeat the whole purpose of having,
No, because once you get the porta johns, they're going back and they get destroyed. So if they get the porta johns, we're going to need the porta johns. I mean, they put enough porta johns out there for them.
And,
And I think we supply enough stuff for water, and
We do.
I think we got porta johns there.
but it's also part of the park, I mean, they're open every other day, right? Why would they just be open then?
And plus, like, you can't, and then they plug in all the power in there, so the doors are open, so they plug power in the, that was part of it, yes. All the power was in there for. You gotta,
mean,
you
that
gotta
defeats
shut
the
down,
purpose,
down no
yeah.
matter what, and they supplied. Porta pots, and they supply handicap ones. Shut it down. It's been like that since I've been here, every year at the festival. They've shut it down since I've been here.
I did appreciate the letter or the email, whatever that we got today, except for the very last line of it, you know, don't like to be threatened with anything, but again, very valid points that. Those things are totally underutilized and. 90% of the time you wanna go use it, it's locked or it's destroyed or it doesn't have toilet paper or and just again,
When's this?
what's that?
What are you talking about?
I want those bathrooms that are down there. They're almost-
That's full time or all the time? They're always fixed back, I've never, they're never locked up. I don't know where.
Well, we have been locking them up at night because of the vandalism, haven't we?
Just that one little period of time when they. Least.
They are keeping them, they are
Oh,
staying.
yes, yeah, by the time they'll be shut down, it's strictly Halloween, we'll shut the one down where the school, the lids can be removed, because we have to buy one of the stool. I mean, that's just the ones with the lids, no, them, that, I don't know who told you that, but that's not true.
It's just not a,
That's-
like, the upkeep on them, it's,
I don't think they're probably gonna lock all year, sure, festival.
but there's a festival.
Yes.
Are they locked through the winter time too?
No,
No.
locked, they all gotta be.
They get
all
winterized.
Winterized. Who cleans them during the summer?
We do.
What, once a week or?
We do it on Mondays and Fridays, when they do trash. We run trash on Mondays and they run trash on Fridays.
So you mop in there?
We wash them and it's clean as school, so correct. And spray them all the garden holes, sweep them, spray them all the garden holes. We attend them throughout the week unless there's someone calls and complains. Or we see it ourselves.
Is that a,
It's constantly buying supplies to put in this bathroom, so I don't know where that's coming from.
Yeah. Don't move out toilet paper. Towels and, if someone destroys them, yeah.
Right, and that's just part of the,
That's part of having a park.
yes, right, sadly. Much like the slide damage and
When
everything.
I can show you, they can see the actual pictures of that up in there. Crowds.
was the email considered a complaint?
It was just a citizen comment regarding budget. It wasn't a complaint, just providing their feedback because of budget discussions for consideration.
Paint, hey, I think it got painted. Last year, the inside all got painted last year, and they get painted periodically with meetings, they all move that by.
So it's basically there's one at.
That Ellis,
One
we
at
got
Bob.
two in Ellis. They kept the one at the pool, because that's your handicap accessible, then you got the one at Bachmeyer, then we get the one at Little. Just, we don't ever, usually, we don't take their larger, take the other one on home.
The second one at the Alice is at the old pool.
Yeah, they'll pull, and that's your handicap accessible, that's why I don't get handicap accessible.
The comment was just, I would like to encourage the council to prioritize our parks and benefits they bring to the community. I would ask them to visit the bathrooms at Ellis and Bachmeyer and see the poor conditions. Take a field trip, see and smell them for yourself. Blissfield can do better. It is unsanitary and inaccessible. An ADA complaint could definitely be filed to enforce the matter.
So the one at the pool is ADA compliant.
That's why it's on. And kept that building, back here, saw. That's. Like I said, about it, being bolted, the park back,
How often are they getting trash, you know?
all depends on the kids. That's usually,
Well-
you get a group and that kid.
Yeah, it goes in spurts, it
Until he gets
seems
his
like.
driver's license and moves on to
Maybe
something else.
We-
We flock, I hate Big Brother. but
We
maybe-
looked
Yeah,
at,
school-
Chief and I looked at cameras and they are not cheap.
Oh, remember, we did press the camera thing, when we walked in, we marked posts and stuff. And then when they gave me the bill, I learned something about being adopted, so there's no such thing.
Yeah, Chief and I just last year looked at that and have a list that I keep because someday, but it's,
Well,
we talked about that too, but
Seats are on over that.
that'll
I'm
get
not saying
destroyed.
What you have in your house. But they're back, park back.
Danielle. I
It
can't-
is on our radar, the bathrooms, I will say that, and we have done, I mean, we budgeted to paint them, they wash them regularly, I mean, we do try to do some smaller things until we can spend a larger chunk of money to do some bigger rehabs
I
or.
think Ken's got the idea of, and you have to comment there, could split in half and phase in for the skate park replacement. There was comment I thought last night regarding the bicycles on the skate, in the skate park. I don't know enough about that. Is there a way to keep them out, or why are they in there now when they?
There used to be, they used to have, a way you could access that was, not that you couldn't get a bike in there, because you could, because we did, but it was limited in size as far as getting through there. When the,
Through the
my
entrance.
recollection, Mike, you can interject the chief. Because my remembrance of the skate park was designed for skate parks only.
That's what I
The
thought.
equipment was purchased with that in mind, without heavier wheel for bicycle use.
And now the bicycles have been on it, and that's what's.
Going back to the skate park, that got opened up for handicap use, because we had to have an access big enough. to Get people for handicap use from
And
handicap
then-
accessible that did skating in there, so that it had to be opened up. And then the council approved that would let the bikes on. Bikes. That is not made for bikes, it wasn't designed for bikes, period. But we had to open them up for handicap accessible. Those families that wanted that opened up, so we took them, when the Eric's talking about. Cause it used to be them under tennis courts. So you only walk through there for tennis. That was the tennis.
that's literally the.
That's a Z or.
Yes.
that's a-
Well,
Thank you, Brad,
That's why I don't like it.
thanks for reminding me of all that.
I'm not on board in doing the same thing with a skate park. We need a one and done concrete skate park like these other municipalities do. They're averaging $50 a square foot. And it's a one and done, and it's literally for skaters.
Now, did. You talked to them, I had someone, you from Google, you on, those skate parks.
Yeah, Asa,
He's never seen town have a skate park that big like that, that's
No.
not normal.
yeah, I did talk to him pretty
You remember when that
extensively.
came in, Mike, they brought that in, there was you.
No, that, it's the company that,
That donated that to that Tony Hawk Foundation that come through here, that's when they put that in.
But the
That was all that
Tony
some
Hawk
professional
Foundation has
skaters.
changed, and the Tony Hawk Foundation has changed, and they do grants
Exactly.
for that kind of thing, but it's a all
It was-
concrete, smaller mold, smaller, you know,
It's quite
rails.
old, we got it, and the water floods it.
So again, you
There's no
know,
more
if we're gonna have to continue milling it, putting a decent service skate, we're gonna have to continue replacing
I knew he did.
the ramps, which are too big.
The
You know,
wooden
no,
stuff,
we need to
right,
do all
the wooden stuff now, they don't make shoes long enough that it's ready, it's. The wooden structures.
And I don't, you know, we've taken so much out of the park, I don't wanna see the park become a flat, and literally, you know, but maybe that's a good spot for. Good solid concrete, you know,
Just keep in
skate
mind,
park.
keep in mind, the flood.
Yep.
So everything's gonna have to be drained, so that's.
But they,
that-
I mean, those are all bowls, they almost
Way
have.
in and off the mud lanes in there, that river flood. That'd be the problem. River flood, I mean, you see the sediments of land passing out the road.
I'm not willing, again, it's a great community
You don't think that's
thing, you know
gonna,
what I mean, bonus, but 300,000. I think, thank you.
yeah, I know, I'm sorry. Do you guys wanna budget, any portion of these right now, or do you wanna come back, like, I know, I'm hearing the skate park discussion, I don't disagree, but it is in, I would,
Off, take them off.
okay,
Phase picnic tables, leave those in.
Okay.
The LED lighting, sounds to me for 100,000, we can't do that all at once. I mean, what can we do with that?
Question, skate park, could you move that out by the pool? Do you got a spot out there? Is that something that?
Have something, and again, you find that you don't. they won't flood.
How big is that? What is what are two tenor? That's what it said.
I have the measurements,
That's a big skate park.
it is big, yeah. Um, Especially for the size of our
Yeah.
community.
Yep. Sorry,
I can send you the dimensions, cause I can't. What do you wanna do for the lighting to start phasing it in? Cause we've done this with a few other, do you guys wanna do like 20,000 this year to start? Funding that, do you wanna do 40? I'm not sure. 50 and try to do it next year, did you have a thought on that?
I would be okay with it.
We can. Median beautification for 3,000,
I like that because that was my IGM. It's, you guys have to see what it is. It's, it really is by that sign. It looks like crap going into that park. It looks very nasty, but I could do it for less than 3,000. I could go over there to, the next name, Barris,
what do you need to do that volunteer job, Gwen?
$1,000.
Are you council good with that?
I know I can do it for $1,000, easy.
Well, go back to ball field lighting, that one's never been budgeted, right? We've always had it on our radar, but we've never really budgeted for it, right?
Yeah, so that right now I've got 50 there,
Okay.
and then we would hopefully add 50 and do it next
Well,
year.
let's talk, I know we're talking now, let's talk Wagner across the river, when we've been trying to replace that rotary run, right? And that's been setting aside, so. Rather than say, let's start piecemealing little projects here, let's do the roof and then maybe we have to do the lights.
So do you want 0 in the lights?
Does that make sense?
Is that what,
Rather than a couple years of different phases, like let's do one and
Oh,
be
finish,
done with it.
do the, start and finish it, same year.
okay, so
Yeah.
That's
we did
Two
0
projects,
there.
2 phases or 3 phases, or is that?
Okay.
They're
What about the basketball court resurface? Inside the fence?
Yeah, I think it's a lot.
I don't know, 'cause that probably goes to that whole thing then too, right, Brent, with what you're saying, with the whole flooding thing, and the basketball court, well, we just had that one ice court put down.
They're talking about
I
inside.
didn't look at this.
Oh. Yeah, it just has some very large cracks, and then there's one spot it's settled a little bit and lower. And I think that's why that's being requested, and it is used a lot, and Parks and Rec is hoping to move the 3-on-3
Yeah,
tournament
yeah,
down there.
That's why they went, yeah, that's what it was.
I'll leave that
There's
highlighted.
two, there's one in the fence, one outside. right?
The outside one is done.
And that's where Asia did the.
Yeah, she got the-
So that one's good to go.
Yep, she got the grant funding for that. That one's good. It's just that inside one. I'll leave it highlighted. We can come back to it. So Clara Bachmeyer Park is the next, one. Again, no changes here. We've got our capital funding. So we this year have 40,000. I would like to at least carry that forward, ideally add to it. For the Rotary Shelter re-roof, we have that total estimated at 160. The Rotary Club is designated and has approved some funding to help towards this, but I don't know the exact amount.
I was under the impression, sorry, that they were actually funding the full thing, but they are.
They are, no, they do not have the money to fund the full thing, but they do have funds to contribute, yes.
Okay, they did that.
And then we have the pedestrian bridge, which I think we've talked about this. We have to keep that trust money because it was designated for it, but I think we've all said at this point to wait until we can get some more information with the 223 project. So I think the big question is, what do we want to apply towards that roof?
Set aside how many years?
2 now. So we did 20,000 the last 2 years.
3 different projects, we're starting to phase over, let's try to just. Do one,
Finish
and then,
them.
but I think that's,
There's things bad with both ways.
yeah.
Yeah. So if you wanted to go ahead and just use your shelter, you're saying, we need the whole full 160, Danielle?
That- that would be the total cost.
To wrap
but-
it up.
Yeah.
Okay,
And what does that entail? That's literally taking the whole thing off, your panels and a steel roof. And what's underneath, so it doesn't rot again.
So that would be removing the panels. And the roofing that's on top of that, new panels, new roofing and proper drip edge.
We can't do OSB underneath. We have to have a different solution. We have to-
OSB won't fit. It's too, the spans are too long.
No, I mean, that's what's up. That's what is on the bottom side of the panels now.
Problem with the panel, like, is when they were built, if you look at the way the roof is designed after the angle it goes in, that the edging, it's not square.
Right.
It take, the water coming around underneath, it's starting to rot. Look how it's designed, so basically, the metal did not get.
Well, they put the roofing. And then the flashing is over it, so the water runs down the roof under that and then just wraps around too. So it's literally just funneling the water right into
OSB
it.
is not a out exterior
Well-
solution. It should be tongue and groove or something.
There's, they were looking at.
Yeah. It's,
It's hard to find someone.
this has been a challenge. I do have a quote, but it is not what we want to do. I don't want to. I guess we can talk about it, but.
I don't know. Gentleman that works for the timber frame one in Tecumseh, he said he stopped there with his engineer, they're looking at a house that they're coming out in. Maybe stopped, the engineer said 2.5 will not span that far, they're gonna see if a company can cut 3 inch tongue groove to make that span. That's what they've been doing in the houses, we're running 2.5 tongue groove, which will span and then carry the screw. I don't know if he's called back. I
He
can reach
hasn't
out to-
yet, but
Reach out to him and see if they come up with that company that cuts their 2.5, let's see if they can cut it in 3 inch.
so that's been the challenge
wanted
is the
that.
distance between,
Yeah.
but I mean, we need some funding is really,
But
We did talk about it in the office recently about going to a 3 inch.
There you go, so.
And see if we can do that or not. And I've not heard anything back on it.
Okay.
I'll find out.
I just don't wanna pay for OSB panels again, and then we're right back to saying, oh,
I think if the OSB panels were trimmed the correct way, they were square, not that fancy, oh, it just had it straight down.
well, and it needs to be like really that roofing should have been over that
flash.
flashing and very,
That's what it's called.
I mean, that, so I think it's the combination
It's
of,
no different than your house.
If you look at the raised rib steel roofing. Where those come down at an angle like this, those ribs run right into that flash area right underneath. Cause it's kind of like, what would you call a crowd roof?
So we have 40, and you're saying we need 160.
correct. Undo,
You're not saying we can fund that entire thing again. But like to.
I mean, potentially, depending on what your other priorities are.
Did Rotary give any indication of what they might be able
Eh.
to allocate?
They've not approved an amount, and they are wanting to see what the village can contribute and what the total cost is, I think, before they make a final decision, but I'm obviously on the board still, I can tell you we do not have the money to fully fund this.
If we did 100, perhaps 60. I don't want to put you in an awkward position, but that might be feasible.
I would recommend that we do 120.
Okay.
We have an event down there. You're about to think that specifically, you know what I'm saying? Like one maker, so that's what. Like Parks and Rec, the hotel tab makes a pretty good reinvestment rate,
Oh.
rate of return. So. Maybe we do some sort of event, say, hey, let's do this.
You saying to do a beer fest, pay for it?
So.
Like a fundraiser or something.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna put 120 there and leave that highlighted.
Trust fund pedestrian bridge, which one, what is that from?
That was one of the trust funds that we closed out and said we wanted to apply it towards the bridge. So it can go towards the removal of the current, it can go towards the replacement. But we had the 3 trust funds, the
Police, Little League,
and Claire Bachmeyer one.
but isn't that just for the park itself, not the bridge? That bridge was the one built in the 90s, so that's.
So it was for the park and we specifically talked about if we would be able to use because it connected the 2 parks and it was approved for that. So that's what we selected. You guys picked that project.
Oh, we reallocate that towards essentially the reroad.
I'd have to ask because we filed with the court that it'd go towards the project you guys picked. So I have a note to ask like the Little League question, if we have extra, so I can ask if it can be reallocated, but I don't know, because we had to sign you guys approved like those trust closeouts that specifically said we will use this money for this project.
Because 51 doesn't even help us buy dynamite to blow that thing up, right? I mean, literally, it's a 500.
I'll ask, I just don't know the answer tonight.
It doesn't get us close, let alone replace it. We're wanting MDOT to replace it, right? So potentially, we're not even gonna spend that. Towards that bridge.
I will find out and let you guys know.
Even if the answer is no, at least you asked the question.
Yeah. Barber Field. There's no changes here. We do have the parking lot rebuild. Total expected cost is 200,000. We have been putting 20 away for the last 2 years, so we have 40 right now. I would like to see us at least keep the 40 and or potentially add something to it. Would be my recommendation. What do you guys want to put here?
Where we stand on it, bill it.
Well, there's a process where they come in, they grind up the stuff that's already there, right? They mix it with new, and then they lay it down like brand new.
It's
I'm not sure, I don't know how much it costs.
it's still gonna be.
Have to be paid.
What do you think? Well, I think, my opinion, it hasn't been maintained all these years. It hasn't been top sealed. It hasn't been,
Quite practical, but yeah, it's terrible.
it's not been maintained, right? That's part of the problem. Now you're playing catch up again.
Is there some drainage issues that need to be addressed too if that ever happens?
There's a couple, there's that one catch basin that doesn't work out a couple of times.
And it needs new compaction. So you could do what Bill said, but it would have to be recompacted and stuff too.
That parking lot
If
that
we-
I brought up before in the past, but I turned down, put the money into it, it's went along the cracks, you want to.
Which is why
From
it's-
Michigan paving at the time when we looked at it, I took it back over to paving. Somebody put it through, all right, mill it out. It's good, and then that time was quite a while, over $180,000. Bring the driveway all the way back, mill it. Get compaction, and then. put it-
So we have to go back to the base, the stone base regardless.
That's what they do, yeah, you gotta give little cracks. Cracks down, they'll come back. So.
I mean,
That was the gentleman from Michigan paving.
well, I was just gonna say. It sounds like, and I know it's, I've been a year or two since I've been out there, but it was nasty then, but the stone would be better than what you have now. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
It would be yes.
Because right now
We
we
were-
force businesses to pay their parking lots.
But we could always, like those businesses, ask for an extension.
There's something, Darren was talking about the micro seal, maybe micro surface seal, maybe you can have him take a look at. it.
I don't think that one's gonna qualify, because you've gotta have a good base for that micro surface. Yeah, I don't, we can ask him, but I don't think it's, I'll ask him.
They're the one that filed for extension, I think.
Right.
They do.
But they're a business versus.
I don't think that our ordinance requires that.
But it's, either way, it's not that we have to go back to the ground, or to the
That's
basics of the
the
stone.
gentleman from Michigan paving.
Exactly, just,
Basically, you know, what you do.
we've got 40 in there now. What do you, Bill, I mean. Talk about this is your, your.
It is, but I'm.
Yeah, it's your turn.
I'm.
Or is that football? Sorry.
So, yeah, this is my.
We're both at, so I hear both sides.
I'll be honest with you, I'm a little bit ignorant, I've only been there since February. Trying to make big changes, improvements. I don't know that the parking lot is a safety issue, I think maybe to some degree it is. I don't know how long. I don't know the cost involved with any kind of remilling and doing it the way that Michigan paving says to do it. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff I don't. But walk out there, it's there's cracks all over the place. There's grass growing through the surface. It's
A lot of gravel, maybe it's like broken or something.
there's broken stuff up yet. And again, my opinion is that it's all because of neglected maintenance over the years. I don't have any facts to back up that statement, other than just looking at it.
Would you think the 40,000 would mean that, would you say, would we ask 10,000, 20,000? Because you're not gonna get the two.
I agree with that. I agree that two is a unrealistic request. I'm not asking for it.
And by the time we did that, it's 250.
Exactly. So I don't know the answer. I don't know the best solution.
So why don't we put 60 for right now and get to our final number and adjust. That's adding, that's carrying the 40,000 and adding another 20. It's almost 9 o'clock. Do you guys want to continue?
Yes.
Okay. Tennis courts. We need to resurface, lighting needs to be done there, the fence is leaning. We're still in discussions with the school. The school has agreed to pay up to $10,000 towards this project.
And we are still in discussions with them.
We are still in discussions with the school, yes. So I don't know if we want to hold off on these, or I'm not sure what we want to do.
Let's say, I know it doesn't say here, the pickleball, but I just have to say this because I have to wear my Parks and Rec hat. That, when we did the survey for the master plan for Parks and Rec, pickleball was mentioned. I was gonna look at the numbers and percentage it out, did not, but it was mentioned, I'm gonna say at least 10 times, in that, master plan. Hey, it could have been the same person writing it down, survey 10 times. I have no idea. But I am gonna say pickleball was definitely wanted. I know it wouldn't be for the majority of our population. I get that. I get that. I'm just saying it has been there. I can tell you something else that Jennifer Lanley on our Parks and Rec board has taken the lead on meeting with the pickleball people and asking them for what are their wants, what do they think that they could come up with, and some perhaps some type of a fundraiser as well. So I know that that's taking place. We have given her a time frame of September to come back to the Parks and Rec board. They had a discussion with us. So I wanted to let you guys know that we're talking about.
I'd like to know when they're playing pickleball.
Well, they claim frequently, but I'll be honest with you, I don't go out there. That's not my area. I
That's
go.
maybe the point.
That's the answer, just a picture in there.
I mean, I could do,
I mean, I found there's a Facebook schedule and lots of people sign up for it and they go out there because you wanna have predators and you go out there.
right,
I'm just saying it's myself.
yeah, I believe you're right, I believe there is a Facebook group that
There is, seems like a study. I didn't have any trouble finding it when I asked about it.
I'll look for it. I know about a year ago, there was a fairly. There were people out there every about 2 to 3 nights a week.
I don't know how
And then
often
there-
it's moved, but I do know about the Facebook group as well.
There was one night, there were several nights where there was. All three courts were being used and there were people waiting.
Well, one of the comments I'm gonna make at Parks and Rec was that we know that, a resident has been to our, obviously, our, council meetings requesting, pickleball.
He was representing.
And he was representing a group, but at the same token, you, as we all well know, you just can't come and say, well, we want a pickleball court, we've gotta have more than that. So there's gotta be something behind that. What do you want? What are you talking about? That's too ambiguous. I mean, where do you want it? Do you know where you want it?
And we do have 3 pickleball courts.
We do, right?
On the tennis courts. We bought the nets for them. We actually a volunteer taped them off.
we
So
are
they,
dating it.
correct. I'm not saying that's the perfect,
The
most
best,
ideal,
correct.
but. And we had talked about when we redid the tennis courts that we would convert 2 of them, the tennis courts, into 4 pickleball courts and keep the 2 tennis courts. And we have had a request to go to 6 pickleball, 1 tennis. I don't have whatever we want to do on that, but so it is kind of, the pickleball's a little bit included in this. I guess we're calling it tennis courts, but it does include some conversion there. But I think there's,
If you do look at line 570 with the 60,000. Okay, the school agrees to the fund of 10K, that would take us down to 50. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but for 50,000. Get that decision made. And be done with it. I don't know if that's the right decision, but that is an option.
Or take a step back and we look at what the committee's talking about,
I
36,000
will not disagree with that either.
towards water, which isn't being reimbursed across the board from general fund to utilities because the schools.
And wait for that discussion.
Approximately 36 grand in water. For 60. And some fundraising, we could build 2 pickleballs. Whiteford just did it out on
Yes, it did.
the seaboard or whatever there's terms. I
And
think
those are
that
nice courts.
they're beautiful. There's 2 courts, they got fence. I think Stone Cold whatever donated the ground. That was like 50,000. It was 15 for the fence. They came up with over 75,000. We could have 2 pickleball courts. I'd say give the school the tennis courts, you walk away and get out of that agreement, or we find some way to reimburse the utility fund, the water fund, somehow from.
well, you'd fund it from here.
And yeah, and that's kind of ugly, but
I mean, that would be the proper way.
yes, it is a benefit. It is obviously, again, it's working together in partnership because we do a lot of other things with the school using their facilities and they get some kickback from us. But we haven't settled that it's an apples to apples agreement or a win-win, situation. Definitely seems to be one-sided in a way.
So do you guys want to leave this 0 for right now? Is that what I'm hearing?
I would hope, well, we've got Jennifer coming on board here in September. And we know that we're gonna be meeting with the school. I mean, those are going to take place. After that, before the budget.
Right.
And if we did fix that, again, Brent, I don't think the base is good there. I think if we mill it and put down another asphalt, the tennis court, sorry. We're gonna be right back in the same solution.
I
because-
know when it was built, Bowser Motor tested it, Sam Beans did the underground, put it all in. That was all done by Bowser Motor, they tested it, cold tested, with the nuclear tested it all passed compaction.
Then why is it settling in the same area? So.
They all passed compaction, like I'm just being honest, I was there out there when I went down. It's Michigan, that's where the moves, they replace them all the time. It's a product, and the tennis courts are going back to the same, as not, is going back to the ballpark, it's the parking lot, it didn't get left behind, there was never no money to maintenance. Now your tennis courts had a few cracks in them, now they're so wide, they might have to resurface, they can't fix it. So that's the same thing, it got kicked down, and it was there, and at the time it was a Little League, it was ran by the Little League, and the village of Blissfield, we didn't do nothing back there. That was all done by O.W. Farber, Larry Litt mowed everything, and then it got handed to the village. It got handed to the village, then the village took over the rest of the one, the shine more off of it. we got it, and then we started mowing it, taking care of it. But it didn't get forgotten, it was on it, but it did the same as the tennis course, it got kicked back, to a point where it's at. And we did spray the weeds in the park, but they're all gone. We didn't go over there and spray it when the season was done, we were doing other stuff, so the weeds are sprayed. Or-
What do you think, Danielle?
I'm not opposed to waiting until we have some more firmed up information from Jennifer and the school discussion. I think that makes sense, but I do think that we need to keep this on our radar to do
Otherwise,
something.
it's gonna, nothing to have for a year, do we?
I mean,
Set something aside as a placeholder, whether it's at the school or whether it's elsewhere, or, because otherwise. Nothing
Well,
happens.
because what we could do is we could put in a placeholder, and then if we don't use the placeholder, we can use it somewhere else, correct?
so I mean, what kind of placeholder are you thinking? 20?
20. You guys call
You want me in the middle at 25?
Yep.
Is that consensus good with the middle? Okay. Urban forestry. I just have a small increases in wage due to the 4%. Library, I have nothing. We'll hopefully have that transfer completed.
What's our report you're getting, that's literally just pick up. Pick up.
Spray mosquitoes.
Yep, mosquitoes as well.
Sign.
Okay, is it replacing anything, is that maintenance, is it trimming, is it?
Any trees that's not in the right of way, it's streetscape, will go under urban forestry.
If it's in the right of way, it goes under streets.
On street tree, if it's in a major street, it's a major street tree when we build time, it's on a local street, it's a local street.
So
But anything,
it's like
or
parks.
sometimes urban forestry could be.
Right. It'd be not like outside the right of way areas that,
Well, and right, and Ellis, we got some of the roof.
well, and we typically try to, if it's in Ellis, we try to bill Ellis
And then
for it.
also-
That way it's more accurately tracked. I mean, a majority of this is gonna be our brush pickup and mosquito spraying.
I'm gonna send you guys this unfortunately from 1992 or whatever, when Michigan State did the tree study. You can get a bathroom ready for you, but take a read when you get through it and just think of the numbers, look at the numbers and what they recommended on what you need versus really what we do, and we realize how much tree collection and, brush collection costs and things like that, but are we maintaining our, back in the day, they said, oh, we've got 1,050 trees or whatever, town is worth over $1 million, value. So again, and then they recommended how we maintain them and how we structure our funding per capita, et cetera. So again, just kind of look at that, it's interesting, but are we funding things properly? I guess it's one thing I'll say, we get it. It's old school, but it's very relevant.
So that is the kind of end of general fund. After putting in the stuff that you guys told me to, we have 358,838 remaining.
it.
358,838. I don't know if you guys want to finish talking about this or if we want to come back tomorrow.
No. I don't.
Right, are you buying your skid sprayer this year, 4,000?
Are you guys okay with staying?
I am okay. If you guys, I think we could probably kick this out. I guess the biggest expense that's I think outstanding is that pool liner at 260, and I bring that up because that'll eat a big portion of your 358 if we decide to fund that.
Full liner 260,
Um,
my goal.
And I could add that in and we can. So if we do the pool liner, that leaves you guys with 98,838, and we can kind of go through some of these capital.
Before we go into the capital things, Daniel, I didn't see it, but I could have missed it certainly. Money for the engineer for the water. Is that budgeted anywhere in here?
In the water fund, I said that we have engineering, I would take it from there. There was,
I thought you meant, okay,
Yeah.
all right, thank you.
okay, so capital projects and general fund, we put away 15,000 of the 40 for Village Hall interior. Do we want to leave that or adjust it?
That was for painting and.
painting the interior of
Say it
Village Hall.
again.
We budgeted 15,000 to phase it in of the total request of 40,000.
Go ahead, keep going.
We have the North Lane parking lot tree and stump removal. We currently funded nothing. We requested 38.5. Brent looked at this for us today. Thank you, Brent. We could drop this down to 18,500 and not replace the trees. That would be removing them and grinding the stumps. Just so you guys know, we have 43 trees over there.
There's 43 trees.
43 trees.
So we could reduce that there if you wanted to fund something. You currently, again, have 0.
Yeah, tear them out, paint this place.
So 18.5, you want to bump the 15 to 40? Are we good with that
15, okay, what do you say, 15?
for the
That's phase
painting?
in the paint. No, not yet, keep going.
Not yet on the painting? Is
No,
that?
You're saying the 18.5 to the trees, correct?
Yes. Okay, so next capital project, we have 61,000 for wayfinding signs that's being carried forward.
No.
Okay, I've
No
heard
money.
one.
Okay,
Any other?
Yes.
Oh, come on.
Tim,
Our entrance, it's-
Eric,
You're saying to keep, we need to put money aside for those things?
Eric, are you a yes or no on wayfinding?
Let's not call it, it's not wayfinding because it's not anywhere.
Well, it's
close to
entryway, yeah. It
These are
is,
signs
it's
that
the,
are in the town.
it's the entryway
This is,
signs.
this says welcome to Blissfield, it looks just fine.
Okay, so that's a question, why does it need to be fixed?
Think they're fine.
In my world, for the things, in the big bangles and the big block, the welcome signs are just the.
Everybody's upgrading their welcome signs, I'm just saying.
What's that?
Everybody's upgrading their welcome
I
signs.
don't care. They don't have bills like we've got bills. I'd rather spend it on something else. My opinion, I'm done. You guys. decide.
So,
Might just change.
did you just change Mike?
Uh,
Because I think
Come
my
here.
heart just skipped a beat.
Not really, I'd like to set some aside to do it, it's been on the radar, and we tell DDA, you know what? We did the streetlights this year, let's set some aside for next year or something.
So do we want to reduce it to try to save some towards it, or?
How much do you want? Oh. 10.
All right, Eric, Tim, Bill, are you good with 10?
I saved us a ton of money.
I still say
So is
0,
that it?
honestly, I'm giving it for 10.
We doing 260 for the pool area?
Yeah.
We're gonna come back to that, but yes.
Size benefit the entire community.
Oh my God, y'all know we live in Blissfield,
Huh?
you can Google it.
20? I need some kind of general consensus, guys.
So
We're between 10 and 20, so how about 15?
15.
Oh.
We'll meet in the middle. Okay. Police. We currently budgeted 1 through 7 minus 6. So the outstanding things, we have the reception desk for 6,500.
No,
Radar for the SRO vehicle for 2,100.
you guys call it.
I think I'm patrolling out there at the school, pulling over soccer moms and,
School buses.
I mean, it wouldn't be a bad idea.
yeah, but the village doesn't see any return on that, right? It goes to penal fine, which goes to, not to the general fund.
Yeah, it goes to the library.
Does he actually patrol out there?
There's a red Mustang. There's a red Mustang that needs to be pulled over.
He does typically with like for drop off and pickup, but when school's in session, he's not, he's in the buildings.
Well, most of the traffic's when they're picking up and dropping.
Correct.
off.
I'd much rather see some, solar panels and those speed signs out there.
Okay,
Those don't seem fun.
well,
Saying.
so I'm hearing no on that right now. Wireless microphones for 3,800,
No,
range gear for 1,000.
no.
Okay.
Those were not in stock.
Okay,
Sure doing the radio for the car.
yes.
That's right.
Yep.
Those were not in stock. That's-
We have the river engineering for 110 and the bridge inspections for both of them for 9,000. We're good with those, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, cleanup day, do we want to add some sort of funding for a community cleanup day or bag tag sale or something?
No,
let's talk with Stevens and see what they have to wait a year, and then see where we're. You know, what I mean, we decide how we're gonna go about it. Because we talked about garbage.
Our garbage contract is up next year, right?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
We're good with the $20,000 transfer to DDA.
For DPW,
Yes. Okay. Pool, liner, 260. Are we
Yes.
good with it?
75.
Yes.
75 is Tim's vote.
No way.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Or 260.
260.
Bill's 260, Mike,
not a chance.
what, is it 0?
It's gotta be all or nothing, really, I mean, right?
So 260, brother.
Well, I would, Brett said yesterday that we need to be defined for it, because this is Michigan. and
We're not asking you to award it today. We're asking for funding. So
Come on, Mike.
Mike,
Crack it on.
You wanna talk about, look what that pool costs us.
My God, wait, stop. This is how much time you have.
All right.
that's too much time.
Okay.
If we don't do anything, we will be in a lot of trouble next spring.
We either don't open or we pay money to patch it and it's going, I don't know what it'll be.
And
It'll be
I
not
don't-
cheap.
I don't think we should, quote unquote, waste our money on a 5-year plan.
Okay, so I have Gwen, Bill and Eric who are saying 260.
Sherry said.
Eric said 75, Mike.
We're not like, Brett's, we're not awarding the bid tonight or
You're-
something.
yeah, I-
Tonight. So we're just trying to put money aside for it. It may be less than that, it might be a little more than that. But,
All right, everybody, we're not funding the library this year, you're getting your stupid liner, then
Time's up.
next year we'll move on.
All
I
right,
think it's important that we let people know.
skate park replacement, we currently have 0 of the 300,000. Are we leaving that at 0 right now? Or
Tough. What would you suggest in that, Danielle? Seriously?
I'd put something,
50,000.
On which?
skate park,
Most is half.
What's that? Yes.
That's what I'm talking about. 300. Split, yeah.
Oh, you see?
okay, how about this? Let's see what we're at the end of this.
Okay.
We said no to cornhole, we have 10 for tables, LED lighting on the ball field, we have nothing of the 100,000. Do you want to put something here?
Because we were thinking we were gonna try to do this shelter totally and then. back to
Yes.
the soft.
So do you want to try to do like half of this and then the other half next year?
You have the shelter in there.
Yes.
Oh,
That,
you do?
let's-
Jump center, so we could do something for the, like,
yes,
oh,
I would,
yes,
you want to do 50? Or consensus?
yes.
Well, talking about diamond lights,
Yes,
how many times a year do they use them lights? 3?
Every Thursday from.
Festival and then-
September on, or
yeah, and then
Thursday.
Thursday night, because we have our adult softball and then festival all weekend. And then we do have several tournaments.
After the balls are out?
No, they're working.
No,
We can't get bulb,
Replacement.
Just can't get.
right,
Yeah, we got
50,000.
the same thing on the road. Tennis courts, too.
yeah, in the skate park.
By the time we're-
Irish people, well, that's for, last I knew.
Are you,
I might try to play to midnight to go out on the left, I gotta go home.
okay, do we have a consensus on the 50,000 for the lighting, ball field lighting?
Did we need 50 for a dump truck? Somehow?
Uh.
Were we still holding that?
So we have budgeted in motor vehicle,
I'll pick a dump truck over lights, sorry.
150 is what we have budgeted. Brent also got lease information. We can do 3 to 8 years, 3 to 5%. They'll do the whole truck. So at 3 years, you're looking at 65,000 a year, 8 years, 25 a year. And then in between, I didn't calculate every year. I wanted to give you a range.
And then first afterwards for what?
Right, you would own it at the end.
We all went-
Yeah.
It's like Weather Center.
So after, let's say we did 3 years, you'd own it after.
Just like,
I hope it's not the interest rates.
they're just basically gonna loan you the money at 3 to 5%. So, International will send it to.
That's what I would recommend.
They'll
is
put it
doing-
out
Break
again.
it up.
I would do a
Spread it
lease.
out.
Like,
Yeah.
just so they're aware that you'll pay all the interest first.
Right.
But-
Just
but
like
it's like
so
any
we're
other-
paying on the same
It's
first
traded
year.
in, it's gonna be ours, so, right,
Yeah.
that's the intent.
I just wanted to give you a heads up.
Yeah, that's what you're
Does that
saying.
get you your dump truck then? Right? Is
That would, yes.
Yeah, get-
Eight-year lease.
1988 dump truck.
I would do a 3-year,
Year.
Oh, it's 1999.
65,000 per year,
How much should we have budgeted for this?
150. And we can put more money down too and change that payment. I'm telling you, high level, nothing down, like. If we put money down, that payment's gonna change. We would bring that information to you guys. We're not
Well, that-
asking you
that
to
sets
approve a
up maybe
lease.
For a police vehicle and things like that too, right? If we
Yeah,
have a
that's,
lease,
yeah, that's why I think we should do the lease, but. Okay, so I apologize, but I need consensus 50,000 on lighting.
What else are we missing yet?
Okay, I'll leave that at 0. So we have 120 for the rotary shelter roof. Do you want to increase that just in case, or are we good with the 120? Okay, well, I will ask about the trust fund, so potentially we can move that 50, and if we need to adjust, we can. We have 60,000 towards Farver. We have 25 towards the tennis courts. And right now you have 126,338 remaining to spend. And the items that you guys were back and forth on were lighting for the ball field and 126, yeah. Lighting for the ball field. And I thought there was one other thing. Why am I? Oh, Village Hall ground painting.
Oh. If we have that kind of money, what would the total for the village is 40?
40, we already have 15, so if we bump that to 40, that gives you still 101,338 to budget somewhere.
Do the village office, let's get this thing done.
Okay.
The whole thing.
So then do you want to spend another 100,000 on something? Do you want to save it? Do
Save
you
it.
want to put it towards the lights?
Pickleball courts.
Save it so that we can,
And pickleball in our skate park and et cetera, then if we
And
find
we-
to do one of the projects.
TBD.
They would do their pool and.
Yeah.
When Brett wanna buy us a laptop.
25-year warranty, what does the fine print say? So,
5.
So I can actually. I have one more question and then we can go. We do have the remainder of those donated funds of the 38,845
funds for
for the pool. We could reduce the liner to 221.5.
no, that money, don't you want to, you're talking about, chairs and stuff like that?
Yeah, we're gonna need to start replacing tables and chairs out there. We have lots of other things, but
Yeah, take that money.
okay. Sounds good. We are done. We will cancel tomorrow's meeting. That is all of it. I'll get everything wrapped up. I'll send this to you guys so that you have it and we'll get it built out. I will start finalizing the budget notice and the budget binders and things like that. Because our goal is to have this to you guys at the first meeting in September. Which is September 8th. So I've got to get my notices out pretty quickly because we have to have 15 days and things like that. So Doug, you'll be getting lots more emails from me.
Wait, real quick, what did we cut out of like Boy Scout things like that, and you know what I mean, like once it was kind of, that does give us some offset costs if we don't work it out with these.
They're still getting the,
You guys
They're
didn't
full.
cut anything. You wanted to have discussion to start setting like some expectations so that you weren't just
the Boy Scouts still getting something for their roofing, or not roofing, their.
Depot.
Insulation. Or the Depot's getting something roofing the depot.
Yeah, I was gonna, so you did 5,000 for the installation and said that you would like to pay for half and then pay for half. And then the depot, you did the roof replacement for 22.
Anything with the library, right, we're talking about.
I didn't budget anything from them. They approved the transfer. It is on your agenda for the 28th for consideration. Dave and I are already working on the paperwork to do the
And
transfer.
$1 for reserves.
I'll pay it.
Alright. Okay, happy?
Yeah. Good. I especially like this, last part, that's almost like an auction. I like that.
Mhm.
Maybe that's how we should do it.
Here,